Back here, Highlight Central. You got to let me know if you can hear me on YouTube. I'm back live on YouTube now. Testing. I think it is working. That's really annoying. You can hear. Got to hit that like button, guys. We got to get these likes back up now on this live stream. That's very frustrating. Welcome back on YouTube. Sorry about that. I'm my own audio and video guy, so there's going to be some hiccups along the way. Happens. Hit that like button. Try to get those likes back up. We were almost at 100 likes too. That's frustrating. Yes, the Eagles have Howard. The Dolphins cut him. Interesting. I don't think that's very concerning though for Miles Sanders. Who is a good kicker to start, Bucker or Zane Gonzalez? I like Bucker. We back. Yeah, we back, guys. Hit that like button. I got to get those likes back up. We were almost at 100. Lamar's expected to start. Yeah, I do think Lamar is very, very trustworthy this week. I think Lamar Jackson's going to win some fantasy championships if he made it there with him. I was confused for a sec. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. How the day been going? It's been going good. We had a little audio struggle, which was annoying, but we're back now. Still NFL football Sunday, so I'm still doing well. Ayuk, Pittman, or Mims? I would probably go with Mims out of those three guys. When do you think Brees is going to come back? I have Kamara. Probably week 15 is the best case scenario. Thoughts on Dobbins? I do think J.K. Dobbins has upside. Good to hear about Lamar because I have him and a lock for the playoffs. Matt, that's awesome. Good to see you, Matt, by the way. Thoughts on AP this week? Yeah, he has touchdown upside. He's seeing the goal line work for the Lions with DeAndre Swift out, but he's by no means a safe play. Throw out a quick highlight for a DFS lineup off the top of your head. Yeah, Miles Sanders and Myles Gaskin highlight all of my DFS lineups today. I also have a lot of Corey Davis. And I think Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen also all in line to have a really good day. And guys, we're back live on YouTube. I fixed the YouTube error. So go hit that YouTube stream. Toss a like. Helps us out a ton. We were almost at 100 likes. I had to restart that YouTube stream, which was a little frustrating. Higgins or Hollywood Brown? I would probably be going with Hollywood. I don't like either of them, but I would probably be going with Hollywood Brown. A.J. Brown over Michael Thomas? Yes, for sure. Yeah, Lamar Jackson is playing. Luke, how's it going, man? Debo or Damian Harris at flex? I like Debo Samuel more than Damian Harris. Landry or Davis? I like Corey Davis, man. I think Corey Davis is a great option this week. Lamar is expected to start. Yeah, he's going to be starting this week. Lamar Jackson is back. Do you think Kamara is going to bust till week 15? Michael, very, very possible. It is absolutely possible that he busts until week 15 when Drew Brees returns. He has -2 receiving yards over the last 2 weeks. His worst receiving stretch really in his career that he has had. And it's because Taysom Hill is just not involving him very much in the passing game. And so that is a concern. It absolutely is a concern. Chubb or Henry? I would probably lean Derrick Henry, but it's close. Could you help me out? I got Gaskin. I really do like Gaskin this week, guys. I do. And we don't need to spam in the YouTube chat. Not necessary. I will get to your questions. Hit that like button, by the way, if you're watching live on YouTube. Really does help us out. We had to start a new live stream on YouTube. So we lost some of our likes from our previous one, which is frustrating. Hey, Sam, just subscribe to your YouTube, man. Thanks. I appreciate that. Really do. Helps us out a ton. We're going to pass 1,600 YouTube subscribers in a little under 3 weeks. Very exciting stuff. And we're live on YouTube and TikTok right now. The YouTube comment section is a little less spammy, which is nice. Sanders, Mostert, Eckler, Booker. Pick 2. I would go Sanders and Eckler there. Kyle Rudolph over 3.5 receptions plus 130. Not a bad odds there, though. I think he's probably going to end with 2 or 3. Debo or Amari Cooper? Walter says Debo. Yeah, I like Debo Samuel a lot more too. Hey, Sam, should I start Debo or MT? Also, let's go. Let's go, Yarishman. I would probably go with Debo Samuel over Michael Thomas as well. Just subscribe too, bro. Thanks. Pittman, Higgins, Hollywood. I would probably go Pittman. You can't trust T. Higgins. You cannot trust Tyler Boyd. You cannot trust A.J. Green. That's for sure. None of that offense can be trusted. Giovanni Bernard, nobody. Whole offense is trash. Yes, Lamar Jackson is playing. Nate Braverman, I'd say CEH. Nate, what was your question, man? I can only use one of the three. CEH, Edmonds, or Gurley. Yeah, I'd probably go CEH as well. Must-win week. Yeah, it's a must-win week for a lot of people. Last week before the playoffs in most fantasy leagues, Lockett, Woods, Kupp, A.J. Brown, Jarvis Landry. I would probably be going out of those guys, A.J. Brown, Cooper Kupp, and I think Robert Woods. If you have both of them, I think it's a pretty safe option to play both. At least one of them is going to do really well. Booker or Gaskin? I like Gaskin more than Booker. Hey, Sam, are you worried about Keenan Allen getting shadowed by Stephon Gilmore this week? I think Gilmore will be matched up against Keenan Allen. I'm not convinced he's going to shadow him the whole game. Why are you so high on Sanders this week? They're going to be playing from behind. Jacob, Miles Sanders is a low-key, very good receiving running back. He's playing 65% of the snaps with the Eagles, and he's up against the Packers defense, allowing the second most fantasy points per game at the running back against running backs this season. That is why I like Miles Sanders. Trubisky or Wentz, I would go Trubisky. Do I play Julio Jones? Yes, you got to trust Julio Jones this week, guys. Julio Jones, when he is out there, and he's only going out there if he can play, he is going to ball out. And guys, on YouTube, unfortunately, I had to start a new live stream. Very frustrating. And we were almost at 100 likes. So hit that like button. Let's try to get back to where we were just 30 minutes ago. Really do appreciate that. Helps us out a ton. And if you're not subscribed on YouTube, you got to hit that subscribe button. We're going to pass 1,700 YouTube subscribers in a little under 3 weeks. Very exciting stuff. In a must-win matchup, Mitch Trubisky, Drew Lock, or Ryan. I would probably go with Mitch Trubisky there. I'm facing a 3-11 team in a must-win week. That's a good thing, man. Is Allen Robinson playing? It looks like he is officially playing. Yes. I'd go Josh Allen over Taysom Hill. Thoughts on Darnell Mooney with Trubisky? Yeah, Darnell Mooney is an interesting dart throw. To me, he's similar to the guys like Denzel Mims, Rashad Perriman. All those guys are in the same tier with me, have upside. Deontay or A.J. Brown? I'd go A.J. Brown over Deontay Johnson. I'd go Debo Samuel over Deontay Johnson too. And I do love Deontay Johnson. Thanks for the help, man. Trusting you with Sanders. Dropped a like. Thanks, Jacob. I appreciate that. Good luck with Sanders. I'm riding hard on Miles Sanders today. I think I have more money risked on Sanders than any other player in football today. So I'm right there with you with Miles Sanders. And I think that's something that's actually important that I wanted to touch on. I think that it's important. I saw a little Twitter thread about this that got me thinking that the person that you're taking advice from has skin in the game. And I definitely am. Most of the advice that I give you, I probably have money risked on. Zeke, what about Zeke? I think Zeke is definitely a concern. He's definitely a concern, and he has a lot of risk, though he is going to still see 15-plus touches. Waiver wire wide receiver for backup for the rest of the season. Go add Denzel Mims. Denzel Mims seeing some of the most air yards in the NFL. He's top 10 in terms of air yard metrics, and that means he's got really high upside, more upside than people realize. Yes, it's like 95% confirmed that Lamar Jackson is going to play. Snell, Myers, or Bernard? I would probably lean Benny Snell over all three of those guys. Hey, Sam, help. Herbert or Watson this week? I would probably lean Justin Herbert. Chubb or Eckler? I'd go Chubb, though I do still like Austin Eckler a lot. In a PPR, you could argue Chubb. I mean, you could argue Eckler in a PPR league. James Conner back on Monday. I don't think he's going to play this season. Not this season. I don't think he's going to play this week. But yeah, he does have. I hope he's back soon. I hope he gets off that COVID list very soon and recovers quickly because he is a cancer survivor, so he's somewhat at risk. What's up, Sam? Must-win week. Good to see you, Nate. Do I start Swift, Mostert, or Gibson this week? Swift is out. DeAndre Swift not playing. I would probably be going Raheem Mostert over Gibson as well. Thoughts on Marvin Jones? Marvin Jones is the number one target for Matthew Stafford. Bro gets endless questions. Yeah, man, I will be live. I've been live since 8:45, and I will be live all the way up till 1 o'clock. You got to come back at 1 o'clock. You'll see I have even more energy as the day goes on. So I will come back. Tell me if I was right. Come back around 1 o'clock. I'll be screaming into the microphone, telling people to start Julio Jones, telling people to start Raheem Mostert, telling people to start Myles Gaskin. I do think I would lean Gaskin over Mostert, but it's close. Booker or Singletary. I would definitely go Booker over Singletary. Dallas Goedert or TJ Hawkinson. That's a tough one. I would lean Hawkinson, though. Carson or Montgomery. I would probably lean towards Chris Carson, though. Again, that's very close, very similar options this week. Do I start Dalvin Cook? Do you see Vikings as a possible playoff contender? Yeah, the Vikings have really been picking it up over the last couple of weeks. I do really like Dalvin Cook. Thoughts on Miles Sanders over 65 rushing yards 2020? I think I'm going to be touching on that in a little bit, but I do really like Miles Sanders a lot. No problem, Nate. I got you, man. I can't read the app. You can't read the app. What does that mean? Let me read. Julio or McLaren? Matthew, this is how you read the app. This is what the app gives you. The WalterPicks app in the iOS App Store, which I have spent over 400 hours building. I've spent over 3 years building the projections that power the app. This is what you find in the WalterPicks app. You find projected points using our machine learning algorithm, which I named Walter. That's why it's called WalterPicks. And they have been more accurate. Those machine learning projections, the projected points you see, the most accurate projections you will find on the interweb in the universe. The other things you will see in the app is boom percentage, which gives you the probability of a player scoring over 25 points. Then you will get the bust percentage, the probability of that player going under 10 points, excuse me. So you get boom percentage, bust percentage, projected points, and then also the rating of their matchup. All the information you need to make your own start-sit decision. I did not build the app to just tell you who to start. I built the app to give you the information you need to make the correct start-sit decision. And it depends on what you're looking for, right? Sometimes you want the safer option, so you should look at the bust percentage. Sometimes, if you're like me, you like to take risks and shoot for upside, you should be looking at the boom probability. But the best indicator is the projected points. Just subbed. Thanks, man. Booker, Dobbins, JT. I would probably be going Booker and Dobbins there. I think Jonathan Taylor is a risk. He has upside, but I think those other two guys are safer. Yeah, Adam Thielen will probably do very well. What's the deal with Jonathan Taylor? Jonathan Taylor is back, and I do think Jonathan Taylor, he saw 22 carries in his last game that he played. He's got upside, though you never know with the Colts backfield how that's going to shape up in a given week. So that's the deal with Jonathan Taylor. Just downloaded your app. Thanks so much, man. I really do appreciate that. Yeah, if you haven't checked out the WalterPicks app yet in the iOS App Store, you got to go check it out. And if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, you got to go do that as well. We're live on YouTube right now. And if you're watching live on YouTube, appreciate you so much. Hit that like button. We were at 70 likes before I had to start a new live stream because of some audio issues. So hit that like button. Helps us out a ton. Takes 2 seconds for you. I'm going to try to get to all of your questions. Aaron Jones or Austin Eckler? I would lean towards Austin Eckler over Aaron Jones. Both of them are really good options. Sanders or Carson? I like Miles Sanders over Chris Carson this week. I think Miles Sanders has top 5 upside. Love the app and the streams. Liked and subscribed on the 5 accounts. Nate, thanks. Appreciate that so much, man. Jordan Reed or Zach Ertz? I'd go Reed. Let's see what Ertz's role really looks like now that he's back. What's the jersey of the day? Yeah, the injured jersey of the day. I'm wearing Julian Edelman today. He's been injured. Now he's on the COVID list. We haven't seen Julian Edelman in quite some time. This will be a sad last season for him if this is his last season. Goddard or Henry? I would go Henry for sure. Hines or Taylor? I would lean Taylor. Myles Gaskin or D-Hop? You got to go Hopkins. I saw someone in there say, well, DeAndre Hopkins put up 100 against Jalen Ramsey. And I think DeAndre Hopkins is still a must start in fantasy. I'm very excited to watch that matchup. And I think Hopkins still could put up 100. Happy Sunday, brother. Happy Sunday, guys. It's the best day of the week. Football Sunday. Absolutely my favorite day of the week. Debo or Gibson? I would probably lean Debo Samuel. I think Debo Samuel, guys, he's got 13 targets, one of the best yards after the catch receivers in the NFL. Bears defense versus Lions or Raiders defense versus Jets? There's 2 words to answer that question, and it is Adam Gase. You got to go with the Raiders defense. Booker or Hines? Happy Sunday. I would go Booker over Hines. Happy Sunday to you as well, guys. We only have so many Sundays left in this NFL season. We got to appreciate them all. Montgomery, Gaskin, or Sanders? I would probably go Sanders out of all 3 of those guys. Is Jefferson going to have a good week again? Yes, because he's one of the best receivers in the NFL. He's been the most efficient wide receiver in the NFL. He's the first rookie ever to be leading this late in the season in yards per route run and yards per target. Thoughts on Anthony Firkser? Yeah, he's a good sleeper tight end. I posted about him yesterday on TikTok. Anthony Firkser, Jonnu Smith is out. Firkser's a pretty good bet to be scoring a touchdown this week. Hey, I see you streaming on TikTok and YouTube. Yep, we're live on YouTube. We are live on TikTok. We got close to 200 people tuned in right now on both. Sam, thank you. But Julio over McLaren. Julio's for sure more risky than McLaren. McLaren has seen at least 7 targets in every game this season. I would lean towards McLaren, though. Julio has more upside. I'm going Justin Jefferson over Julio Jones. But again, I want to be starting both of those guys. Cooper or Mike Williams? I would be playing Mike Williams over Cooper. Do you think Lamar could go for his first 40-point game? Michael, I absolutely think that's possible. I think Lamar Jackson has a very real chance to be a league winner in fantasy football. I think he's due for some bounce back games. Julio or Devontae Parker? I would lean towards Julio Jones. Do you think Booker can produce this week? Yeah, I do. Gurley or Devin Singletary? I'd go Singletary. I don't trust Todd Gurley at all. I love the app, bro. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Start 2, Boyd, Latavius Murray, James White, or QT. I would lean towards Latavius Murray and Kiki QT out of those options. And guys, you can answer all your start sit questions on the WalterPicks app in the iOS App Store. It gives you all the information you need to answer your start sit questions. And I did just give everyone, if you ran out of free start sits, I gave everyone another 5 free start sit comparisons. We are in the fantasy playoffs. I'm here to help you get through the fantasy playoffs. And if I do end up helping you, or if I get to your question, or if you enjoy the content, you got to follow us on TikTok, subscribe on YouTube. You got to download the WalterPicks app, subscribe on the app. Must win, Corey Davis or J.K. Dobbins. I like Corey Davis more. Kevin, bet. Yeah, I got you. More free start sit comparisons. Sanders or Mostert? I like Sanders a lot this week. I'm going Sanders over Mostert. I like Mostert more than Kamara, though. Pittman, Boyd, or Ayuk? James Conner is eligible to come off COVID list on Monday, but is still considered questionable to play. As that's the report I'm seeing right now on my screen. Hines or Taylor? I like Taylor more than Hines. Guys, Jonathan Taylor saw 25 carries in his last game. 22 carries in his last game that he played. I think that if he sees that again, it's going to be pretty clear. Jonathan Taylor is going to be a league winner in fantasy football. He's got one of the best playoff schedules as well. Same with David Montgomery. I think he's going to end up being a league winner as well. Need 2, CEH, Gibson, or Booker? I would go Gibson and Booker there. I don't trust Clyde at all. How do you think Alvin Kamara will get receptions today? I think they have to get him more involved in the passing game. He's had -2 receiving yards over his last 2 weeks. And if he doesn't, we'll know that his ceiling is a lot lower than what it has been. I think realistically, not much is going to change for the Saints. And I think that's going to be a bad thing for them against the Falcons. I'm picking the Falcons against the Saints. And one of the big reasons is with 2 weeks of tape on film from Taysom Hill in the offense, there's only so much they can do with Taysom Hill. I think that the Falcons are going to take down the Saints this week. And I think Alvin Kamara has a lower floor and ceiling than we would like because of the receiving reduction that we've seen with him. Booker or Kareem Hunt? I would go with Kareem Hunt over Booker, but Booker will probably touch the ball more. Do I start Taysom Hill today? Depends who you are starting him over. There's 2 sides to every start-sit decision. With Daniel Jones injured, you still take Ingram over Rudolph? Yeah, I probably still would. How you like Kyle Rudolph will do? Yeah, Kyle Rudolph has been more involved in the offense. Irv Smith is out again, but Adam Thielen is back. I think Kyle Rudolph's probably going to end with 3 catches today. And if one of those happens to be a touchdown, then good for you. That's basically what the entire tight end situation is in fantasy football this year. The tight end situation, really, it goes back to even last year, is just brutal in fantasy football. And it's why I was advising people in the second round of drafts to hit that draft button on Travis Kelce and George Kittle because they offer such a significant advantage at the tight end position. By the way, George Kittle could be back week 15 to help you win a fantasy football championship. If he's available in your league, you got to go add him. But yeah, I think that Kyle Rudolph is a streaming option at the tight end position, along with most other tight ends. If he scores a touchdown, he's going to finish top 10 at the position. That's how it goes at the tight end position, literally. If you scored a touchdown, then you were a top 10 tight end. That's the flow for tight ends this season. Dobbins or Booker? I like Booker more than Dobbins. Hines or Taylor? Yeah, I think I've answered this one a few times. I like Jonathan Taylor more than Nyheim Hines. Start Dalvin Cook? Yes. And I do think the Vikings are playoff contenders. They've been cooking on offense recently. Justin Jefferson is really starting to pick it up. Adam Thielen is back. I think that they're a legit team. Their defense just needs to pick it up a little bit. Do you think Phillip Rivers' situation limits Pittman? Should I start Shepard instead? No, I would take Pittman over Sterling Shepard. And Phillip Rivers, by the way, is a sneaky DFS start this week. Phillip Rivers has actually done much better than you probably realized over the last 3 weeks. Phillip Rivers, guys, has been... Let me pull up some stats on Phillip Rivers for you, because Phillip Rivers is one of my DraftKings favorites of the week. Phillip Rivers, he's projected for almost 21 points by Walter this week. He is averaging 18.5 fantasy points per game over the last 3 weeks, and he's up against a Houston Texans secondary that has allowed the 11th most fantasy points per game to quarterbacks this season. Phillip Rivers is also a sneaky streamer this week and is worth considering in some of your DraftKings tournament lineups. He certainly isn't safe enough to start in head-to-head, though. Taylor or Landry? Jonathan Taylor or Jarvis Landry? I would go Jonathan Taylor. I just subbed. Thanks, man. And who should I start? Julio, Jefferson, or A-Rob? I would probably go with Justin Jefferson there. Over under Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's over under today is 100 rushing yards, and I'll take the over there. Derrick Henry's just an absolute tear. This is the time of season that Derrick Henry just dominates, man. It just absolutely dominates. Guys, Slayton or Tim Patrick? I would probably go with Slayton. Taylor or Dobbins? I like Taylor more. Chris Carson or David Montgomery? I would probably lean Chris Carson, but it's close. David Montgomery is starting to heat up. So what I'm hearing is Rivers over Goff. Goff is also in a really good situation, though. I like both of them a lot this week. I would probably take Goff over Phillip Rivers. I think Goff is safer, though I do think Phillip Rivers has more upside than people realize. Debo or Juju? I'd go Debo Samuel. Must-win week. Julio, MT, Thielen, DK. I'd go DK, Julio, and Thielen out of those guys. I think MT is going to have a down week this week, even though he did pretty well against the Falcons last time out. Julio or Debo? I think you got to start Julio Jones, guys. If he's out there, you got to trust him. Trubisky, guys. Yeah, Mitch Trubisky has thrown 3+ touchdowns against the Lions in 4 consecutive times playing against the Lions. This would be his 5th straight game tossing up 3+ touchdowns against the Detroit Lions. I think he's going to do it, and it makes him also an interesting option in DFS this week. I'll be having some Mitch Trubisky, Allen Robinson stacks in DFS. I'll also be having some Phillip Rivers, Michael Pittman stacks in DFS. Just a few lineups for the low-priced, high-upside stack that you can get in DFS with those two guys. No problem, Kobe. I hope I'm not annoying with all the questions. Dorico, never, man. I appreciate the questions. Hines is a good start this week. No, I don't trust Hines that much this week, to be honest. I think Jonathan Taylor is going to eat into his workload considerably. Tua or Phillip Rivers? That's one, Michael, where I would take Phillip Rivers over Tua. Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson? Definitely Russell Wilson, who, by the way, Russell Wilson has cooled off a ton this season, which is disappointing. He was on track to break the touchdown record through the first half of the season, and he has really, really cooled off since then. Russell Wilson's upside has been limited by the Seahawks not letting him cook. We got to let Russ cook. If I was the coach of the Seahawks, we would be throwing 70% of the time, similar to what the Chiefs do. But I'm not the coach of the Seahawks, and the coach of the Seahawks wants to run the ball more than they pass, which is just mind-blowing to me. I do not understand it. You got to take advantage of one of the best quarterbacks in NFL history. You can make the argument Russell Wilson's just as talented as Patrick Mahomes. Debo Samuel or Deontay Johnson? I like Debo a ton this week. I would go Debo. Latavius Murray or CEH? I like Latavius. Deontay or Landry? I'd go Deontay. I would go Latavius Murray over Kirk. I'd go Pittman over Smith Jr. I don't think Irv Smith Jr. is playing today. Hey, bro, Gio or Hines? I would go Hines over Gio. Gaskin or Julio or Jefferson? No, I would probably go with Justin Jefferson there, then Julio, then Gaskin. If you have Justin Jefferson or Julio Jones, you got to get them both in your starting lineup. Yeah, definitely Julio Jones over Darren Waller, for sure. What's your opinion for Week 17 playoffs? I have Tyreek and Kelsey. Yeah, you got to end your fantasy season before Week 17 because Week 17 is always just a joke. It's an absolute joke. You got several teams in the league that are no longer competing for playoff contention, and it leads to guys that you'll see in Week 17, you'll be picking up guys you've never heard of and starting them because they're going to be starting for their teams. Like the Chiefs probably won't be playing their starters in those games. The Steelers probably won't be playing their starters. I don't think the Steelers are going to chase the undefeated season. They're going to want the Super Bowl. They're going to rest their starters in the last week if they already clinched a bye in the playoffs. Allen or Watson? I like Allen more than Watson this week. Chubb, Aaron Jones, or Mostert? I would rank them in that order. Landry or Claypool? I'd probably go Claypool over Landry. And guys, if you're watching live on YouTube right now, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Helps us out a ton. We had a frustrating audio issue on my first YouTube live stream this morning. I started actually at 8:45. We got up to 70 likes on YouTube, and then I had an audio issue, so we had to start a new live stream. Why can't football come sooner? Man, you got to be patient. It's coming. You got to enjoy. I really enjoy the lead up to the games almost as much as I enjoy the games themselves because the lead up is very exciting. Guys, we're nearing the fantasy football playoffs. This is the best time of year as far as I'm concerned. This is the best time of the calendar year. We are nearing the fantasy playoffs, and in about a month, it's going to be one of the sadder times of the year. Even though NFL playoffs are happening, it's always sad when the fantasy season ends. But then we do get to look forward to drafting new teams next season. There's always next season. Which Browns players do you like today? I like Nick Chubb, I like Kareem Hunt, and I like Jarvis Landry. I would rank them in order and how much I like them. Kenyon Drake or Hines? I like Drake more than Hines for sure. I think Hines is going to be a bust this week. My question is that how will Adrian Peterson do today against the Bears? I think if he scores a touchdown, he'll do okay. If he doesn't, he's probably going to score under 4 fantasy points. So he's extremely risky. Are you worried about Dallas Goedert this week? Yeah, Sam, I am a little bit worried about Dallas Goedert this week with Zach Ertz returning, but I still think he has enough upside to warrant starting him in fantasy leagues. Hey guys, if you haven't subscribed on YouTube yet, you got to go subscribe on YouTube. We passed 1,600 YouTube subscribers in less than 3 weeks. We're live on YouTube right now. The chat on YouTube is a little less spammy, which is nice. So you got to check that out and hit that subscribe button. My goal today was to pass 1,800 YouTube subscribers. We'll see if we can pass that goal. I'm not sure what we're at right now. Carry on or Akers in PPR? I would go Akers over Carry on. Herbert or Mitch? Close one. I think Herbert's safer than Mitch, but Mitch does have more upside. I would argue Mitch has more upside. I would probably go with Herbert, though. Taylor or Montgomery? I would go Monty over Jonathan Taylor. And guys, again, you can answer all your start-sit questions on the WalterPicks app in the iOS App Store. I just gave everyone 25 free start-sit comparisons. All the start-sit comparisons you need to finish out the fantasy season, make the most optimal decisions. It gives you boom probability, the probability of that player going over 25 points, bust probability, the probability of that player going under 10 points, and it gives you the most accurate projections using machine learning and artificial intelligence. It took me 3+ years to build this algorithm. Andrew Young, thanks, Sam. You're the man. I got you, man. 1.64. Yeah, we're at 1,640 YouTube subscribers. We only need 160 more to pass the goal of the day, which was 1,800. We can definitely do that. Absolutely, we can do that. We got plenty of time before the 1 o'clock games. So definitely hit that subscribe button if you aren't subscribed yet. I think you do trust Julio Jones. I would probably play Kelsey over him, though. Mooney, Dobbins, Shepard, or Perriman. I would probably go, out of all of those guys, I'd probably go Dobbins and Perriman. You are at 1.63K subscribers. Ooh, someone said 1.64. Don't get ahead of ourselves. So we're close, guys. We're close to 1,800. We've done this in under 3 weeks. Thoughts on Jamison Elite Crowder? Yeah, Jamison Elite Crowder has been one of the worst parts of my last 2 weeks because I love Jamison Elite Crowder. I think he's elite, and he's been elite despite horrible situation his entire career. And Jamison Elite Crowder, though, he can't be trusted in your lineups anymore. For there's 2 words that explain why, and it is Adam Gase, the worst coach in the NFL. He's been the worst coach in the NFL since the beginning of last season. I've been shouting from the rooftops. Adam Gase is by far the worst coach in the NFL, and it is why, if you've been following me from the beginning, you know I only bet on player props. Like, the only thing that I risk my money on is player props and DFS because I've had a positive ROI on those things. We've had 68% accuracy using AI to identify exploitable player prop picks, but I do always bet on a couple futures at the beginning of the season. Last year, I bet on the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. That one cashed. This season, the Jets over-under wins was 7. They're basically giving you free money. So I tossed a lot on the Jets under 7 wins. And the reason was Adam Gase. I think that Sam Darnold actually can be a pretty good quarterback in the NFL. Murray or Hill? I'd probably go Hill there. Sam, you're at 1.64. Let's go. Yeah, if you haven't subscribed to YouTube yet, you got to go subscribe to our YouTube channel. Morning, Sam. Good morning, man. Have a great day. Andrew, thanks, man. I appreciate that. I hope you have a great day as well. Judy or Corey Davis? I like Corey Davis a lot. Over under 13 points from Tonian. I'd definitely say under there. Kareem Hunt or Jonathan Taylor? I would lean towards Jonathan Taylor over Kareem Hunt, and that one feels like it's going to come back to bite me, but I think Jonathan Taylor has more upside than him. Must win Corey Davis or J.K. Dobbins? Definitely Corey Davis. Guys, Corey Davis is a really good option. Corey Davis has been having his best season of his career quietly, and he's in a really good option this week against in a game against a Browns defense without Denzel Ward. I think Corey Davis and A.J. Brown are going to have good days today. QT or Boyd? I would think QT. I don't trust Boyd. I don't trust Boyd. QT has such a better quarterback than Tyler Boyd. Do I trust Jefferson over Aaron Jones? No, I probably wouldn't. That. Does the premium version of app have player prop picks? You know it does. Every single week we give all the player prop picks that Walter is identifying as exploitable. He uses AI to identify exploitable player prop picks, and I do think that you gotta go get those prop picks. We also give a 3-day free trial in the WalterPicks app. So test out the premium version for 3 days before you're officially charged, and then decide if it's for you. Your over-under for Justin Jefferson's 80 yards. Wow, that's seen some serious line movement. That's a lot, man. Matt, I honestly don't know if I would go up to 80 on that, as much as I love Justin Jefferson. Who's the best corner in the NFL? There's a lot of arguments for who the best corner is. I tend to lean towards Jalen Ramsey being the best, though I still think that DeAndre Hopkins can have a great day today. Perriman or Mooney? I like Perriman more than Mooney. Peterson or Hines at flex? I would lean towards Hines over Peterson, though I think they're both going to be busts this week. I would much prefer Booker or Myles Gaskin over both them. Aaron Jones, Miles Sanders, Myles Gaskin. I'd go those first two guys, even though I do like Myles Gaskin a lot. There's no two players I have more of in DFS this week than Myles Gaskin and Miles Sanders. I can buy it down to 70, but it's minus 130, not so much upside. Yeah, Matt, that's not great. What book are you using that? Is it DraftKings, FanDuel? Dobbins or Bernard? I like Dobbins more than Bernard for sure. Again, I don't trust any part of that Bengals offense. Yeah, Jaire Alexander has been very, very good this season. He's definitely in the conversation as best cornerback. Raiders or Dolphins D? I'd lean towards the Dolphins. Congrats on 45K. Michael, thanks, man. Yeah, we just passed 45,000 followers on TikTok. TikTok's been an incredible experience. I really do appreciate all of our followers on there. You won't see me being like the D'Amelios, not being thankful for my followers. They were complaining about being 1 million short of 100 million. I am grateful for every single one of our followers. Really, I've been in the fantasy content game for actually 3+ years. So I appreciate every single one of our followers. I had pretty much 0 followers for quite some time. So I'm very grateful for all of our followers. Nyheim Hines, Boyd, or Higgins? I would probably lean towards Boyd out of those 3 guys. But I don't like anyone on the Bengals offense. Wilson or Herbert? I'd like Wilson more than Herbert. Ethan, I guess Alex already asked that question. I said CEH and Booker. Did I say CEH over Gibson? If I did, Alex, I disagree with what I said earlier. That was earlier in the morning. I'm allowed to change my opinion. I like Gibson more than Clyde for sure. I would go Gibson and Booker. I would go Booker over Gibson though. I would rank them as Booker, then Antonio Gibson, then Clyde. I have very little faith in Clyde at this point. Season comes down to this game. This is that time of season, man. MT versus Falcons, Crowder versus Ravens. I'm not even going to read the rest. I see those names, but you got to go MT out of all those guys. You got to trust your suds. Yo, good morning, Sam. Just woke up. Julian, I've been up since 4:30 in the morning, finishing my fantasy research. I've been live since 9:45, and I'll be live leading up right until 1 o'clock. And you will see my energy will increase as we go through this live stream and get closer to 1 o'clock. Did you play sports in high school? Yeah, Sam, I played soccer in high school and college. Thoughts on Kareem Hunt this week? I think Kareem Hunt is in the running back 2 conversation. Obviously, he's seeing less volume with Nick Chubb back, but he's still one of the best running backs in the NFL, and he still is on the running back 2 radar for sure. And he still has been seeing some of that goal line work. Though quietly, guys, Nick Chubb has ran more routes than Kareem Hunt. People have this idea that Kareem Hunt's more of the receiving back than Nick Chubb, but they've actually been using Nick Chubb more in that receiving game than Kareem Hunt. And if you're watching live on YouTube, guys, I appreciate it. No, I'm not scared of Dalvin Cook at all this week. I think Dalvin Cook's a must start, especially with Alexander Mattison out. And if you're watching live on YouTube, guys, hit that like button. It helps us out a ton. Really, really do appreciate it. We were actually at 70 likes. I started this live stream. We had a small audio issue, so I had to restart it. Frustrating part of the morning, but we always bounce back, man. Not going to let one bad thing ruin our day, especially not on a football Sunday, the best day of the week. My favorite day of the week for sure. We have one locked player prop pick that I'm going to be sharing at 11 o'clock, the free player prop pick of the week. Pick 2, Kenyon Drake, David Johnson, or Jonathan Taylor. I would be going with Jonathan Taylor and Kenyon Drake there. I don't trust David Johnson very much. Zeke or Booker? I'd probably go Booker over Zeke at this point. Justin Herbert or Kirk Cousins? I'm going Kirk Cousins there. Kirk Cousins has a great matchup today. I really do like Kirk Cousins as a really good option against a not so scary secondary. The Jaguars, guys, could have the worst secondary in the NFL. Wow, we have 1 thumbs down. Yeah, what's with that, man? That's not cool. Definitely hit that like button to outdo that one thumbs down. It's probably because of the audio issue, honestly. Choose two: PPR, Eckler, Mostert, or Gaskin. I would probably go with those first two. Just subbed, Kamara or Cooper? I would go with Kamara. I know Kamara has been bad. Kobe, have a good one, man. Need two: Julio, Pittman, Landry. I would be going with Julio out of those guys. And then probably Pittman over Landry. I know I asked you earlier, Pittman or Beasley, but the app says Pittman, and you said Beasley. Yeah, I think that Beasley is a really good bounce back sleeper candidate, but Pittman's probably going to see more targets than Cole Beasley. So I understand why the app is saying Pittman. And at the end of the day, you got to make your decision. I would go Beasley over Pittman. The app has been more accurate than me, so I'm okay with you trusting the app over me. Dallas Goedert or Eric Ebron? I'd probably go with Goddard still. Just like Singletary or Kerryon Johnson. I would probably go with Singletary over Kerryon. Booker or Gibson, PPR. I would lean towards Booker over Gibson. Gibson's been great, but he does have a really, really hard matchup with the Steelers. Yo, Sam, what's up? How's it going, Daniel? Julio, A-Rob, MT, and Jefferson. Pick two. I would go with Julio Jones and Justin Jefferson there. Benny Snell or Cole Beasley. I'm going Beasley. I have one more question. Packers defense or Giants defense? Both of those are a little risky. I would probably lean towards Packers, though. Do you think Mark Andrews will be back in time? No, I think Mark Andrews is going to be out this week. If not, Jordan Reed or Jimmy Graham. I'd go Jordan Reed. Crowder or Aguilar? I'd go Crowder. Jameson Lee Crowder. Finally, I get to tell someone to start Jameson Lee Crowder. Yeah, I'd start him over Aguilar for sure. Aguilar. I have one more question. Yeah, I would go Packers defense over Giants defense. And guys, appreciate you guys tuning in so much. This is my favorite part of the week, talking with all of you on this live stream. I'll be live leading up to 1 o'clock, giving away the free player prop pick at 11. We'll be talking some DFS. I'll be answering your start sit questions, though. Again, you can answer all your start sit questions in the iOS App Store using the WalterPicks app. I gave everyone 25 free comparisons. How much do you bench press? At my peak, I could bench press 225. Now, probably close to like 150. I'm very weak these days. I work way too much. I'm working like 90 hours a week at this point, so I'd have no time to lift. Derek Carr or Taysom Hill? I would go Derek Carr over Taysom Hill, but I would argue Taysom Hill is safer. So if you're looking for the confirmed 15-plus points, you go with Taysom Hill. But if you want the upside, I'm probably going with Derek Carr. Gaskin or Montgomery? I would lean towards Gaskin, but they're both very similar options. Need some lunch input, wings and pizza or tacos? Definitely wings and pizza on a football Sunday. Yo, Sam, do you think Lamar will play? Yeah, I'm like 95% sure Lamar is playing. Marvin Jones or Chase Claypool? I'd go Claypool over Marvin Jones. Kiki QT, James White, Pittman, or Judy? I would probably go with Judy and Pittman there. Yo, Sam, Bears, Saints. I do like the Bears defense today. I didn't see the third defense you put there. JT, rest of season. Yeah, I do like Jonathan Taylor as a potential league winner. He saw 22 carries in his last game. That was very encouraging. I'm going Tannehill over Deshaun Watson. I think the loss of Will Fuller, RIP, I think the loss of Will Fuller does hurt Watson, and it's enough for me to take Ryan Tannehill over Deshaun Watson this week. Is Marvin Jones a wide receiver 2 or 3? I think he's more of a wide receiver 3. One more for you, Montgomery or Booker? I would lean towards Monty there. MT or Pittman? I'd go MT. Dobbins, Montgomery, Hines, and Jonathan Taylor. Pick two. I would go Montgomery and Jonathan Taylor out of those guys. And Dobbins is in the conversation too, but I think he's just slightly worse than Jonathan Taylor for me. Who would you start? Giovanni, Ayuk, Higgins? Carter, I would probably be going with Ayuk out of those guys, but all three of them are really sketchy, and I'd probably be going with Font over Gesicki. But all those are tough options. I like Noah Font more than Evan Ingram this week without Daniel Jones in the lineup. Though Evan Ingram has been very, very involved in the Giants offense in the last 3 weeks. App is leaning towards Cam over Goff and Rivers. Yeah, I see why. Zach, we also saw an abdominal questionable pop up for Cam Newton, which was a little concerning. I think that the Jared Goff stack in DFS could be a little bit better than the Cam Newton stack this week, but I like both of them. I think make one lineup with all three of them. I have one more question. I think I answered that one, Kobe. I like the Packers defense more than the Giants defense. Yeah, there's no need to spam on the YouTube chat. It is not necessary. Rodgers or Murray? I would lean towards Aaron Rodgers over Murray. Dobbins or James White? I like Dobbins more than James White. I've been subbed. Yeah, Backyard Heroes. Good to see you. I need a flex. Please help. Michael Thomas, Gaskin, or Gallman. I would rank them in that order, Backyard Heroes. I like Gaskin as the safest option there, but I would probably rank them in that order. And again, guys, I gave everyone 25 free start sit comparisons on the WalterPicks app in the iOS App Store. Everyone, when they heard Lamar was playing instead of McSorley. Yeah, I know. Guys, what an amazing moment that was. We got to see Trace McSorley play, and he played well enough that McSorley is going to be in the league for quite some time. Like he capitalized on his opportunity. He did basically everything he possibly could have done in his time out there. I love that Trace McSorley got in the game. That was amazing. Any updates on CEH? Also subbed on YouTube and gave 5-star review in the App Store. Thanks, man. Yeah, Clyde is going to be playing, though he remains a very risky option. If he doesn't score a touchdown, we're going to see a week like we saw last week. Is the app more accurate or these? What do you mean? The app versus what I'm saying? The app is more accurate than what I'm saying. Sam, what do we do if we don't have iOS? Wayne, you got to either go get an iPhone or wait till next season when we're on Android. I love McSorley. Yeah, McSorley is a great story, man. Hey, Sam, how are you? What are your thoughts on CMC? I'm not so sure they're going to rush back Christian McCaffrey, and I'm doing well, man. Thanks for asking. I'm not so sure they're going to rush back Christian McCaffrey with them being kind of out of playoff contention. So I do think that Christian McCaffrey has a chance to really not end up being helpful in the fantasy playoffs. Though if he comes back, he is going to be a league winner. Hey, Sam, JT, rest of season. Yeah, Michael, I saw this one already. Jonathan Taylor has league winning upside for the rest of the season. Benny Snell or Zeke? I would lean towards Zeke over Benny Snell. I like Crowder, Boyd, or Myers. Pick one for the playoffs. I would lean towards Crowder out of those guys. All three of them, though, have a lot of risk. I'm so mad about CMC. I traded for him. Yeah, that's tough. Can Lockett get me 15? Lockett is either going to get you like 5 to 10 points or like 30 to 40 points. I'd go Tannehill over Carr. After that week we saw from Carr last week, he's got an increased risk for sure. Swift is not playing. Yeah, he's not. He's out. He's confirmed out. DeAndre Swift is out. Dobbins, Booker, or Kamara. I would rank those guys as Booker, then Kamara, then Dobbins. Cooper Kupp or Monty. I like Cooper Kupp a lot this week. I'd go him. But both of them are really good options. Keenan Allen / Allen Robinson. Honestly, I'd probably lean Allen Robinson over Keenan Allen this week. Yo, you have to update Kerryon Johnson in the WalterPicks app. Thanks for that info. I will go do that. With DeAndre Swift out. I think Adrian Peterson has been updated. Let's see this here. Yeah, Kerryon Johnson's got to be updated. And he is now updated. You got to close your app and open it again for it to refresh. Is Aaron Jones safer to start than Michael Thomas or Allen Robinson? Yeah, he's definitely safer than Michael Thomas. Tyler Boyd or Darnell Mooney? I would lean Mooney. Lockett, MT, Gaskin. I would lean towards Lockett and Gaskin. I would lean towards Lockett and MT, but again, I think that MT has more upside than Gaskin, but is not safer than Myles Gaskin. Myles Gaskin's probably seeing 20 touches of the football today. Subscriber here. Thanks for being a premium subscriber, man, in the WalterPicks app. Pick one, Taylor, Hines, or Shepard. I'd go Taylor. Thoughts on MT rest of season? Been an OG subscriber since 320 subs. Jordan, you're the man. I do think Michael Thomas is settling in as a wide receiver too, but with risk. Taysom Hill is not throwing the ball very much, though when he is throwing, it's going in the direction of Michael Thomas more often than not. Over 30% of Taysom Hill's throws have gone in the direction of Michael Thomas. That's one of the highest rates in the league, really only behind Devontae Adams. But that being said, he's not throwing it that much. And so Michael Thomas is settling in as a risky wide receiver too. Hines, Zeke, or Chark? I would lean towards Chark out of all of those guys. I think Chark has the most upside. Zeke probably has the safest floor. Brandon Cooks or Kamara at flex? Yeah, I know you're worried about the Kamara usage, Josh. I'm okay going Cooks over Kamara. Do you think Lazard is worth playing over Higgins? Yeah, probably. I think they're very similar options, though. Darren Waller for Kupp, it's a fair trade, depending on the other tight end you have. I was your 147th sub. Thanks, Julian. Look where we are now, Julian. Look how fast this has happened. We're almost at 1,700 YouTube subscribers. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube yet, you got to go subscribe. We're almost at 1,700 YouTube subscribers in under 3 weeks. And we're live on YouTube right now as well. And the YouTube chat's actually a little less spammy than the TikTok chat. So you might enjoy the YouTube live a little bit more, but we got both options for you. No problem, Jordan. I got you, man. Yeah, we've grown fast, Julian. We're not slowing down. You're the GOAT. Thanks, man. Just subbed on YouTube. Keep up the great work. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Lockett, Cup, or Jefferson? Full PPR. Lockett, Cup, or Jefferson? Oh, those are all very, very close. I would go with Jefferson, then Lockett, then Cup, though. But I think that the safety option is Cup. Do you think Lazard is worth playing over Higgins? Yeah, I do. Miles Sanders over Juju. Definitely Sanders. I love Miles Sanders today. He's one of my favorite plays of the week. I think Miles Sanders is going to have his best game of the season today against the Packers defense that is allowing the second most fantasy points per game to the running back position this season. Josh, remember me when you're famous. I don't think that's going to happen too soon, Josh, but I definitely will remember you. Aguilar or Bernard. I would lean towards Aguilar. You haven't talked much about Eckler this week. You think he can finish top 5? Yeah, Johnny. Austin Eckler, one of my favorite running backs in the NFL, has been since he entered the league. He's been underrated since he entered the league. And in his first game back from injury, they were saying maybe we're going to ease him in. He saw the most touches in a game he has seen in his entire career. Austin Eckler is firmly on the top 5 running back rankings list for the rest of the season. He has top 5 upside every week. He had an insane 30% target share. That's close to how many targets? That's close to the target share for Devontae Adams. Like, that is an insane target share for a running back to be getting. Austin Eckler has insane upside moving forward, and it's very exciting. He's one of the most efficient running backs in the NFL. Led the league in yards per touch last season. He's been top 5 in yards per touch this season. He's a beast. 16 targets, Johnny. I know, insane. Absolutely insane. And if you're watching live on YouTube right now, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, helps us out a ton. You need to update David Johnson on the app. Let's see if David Johnson is not updated. I think I was assuming David Johnson out this week. Let's check this out. And I appreciate you guys staying on top of me with who needs to be updated because it's a lot to keep track of. Let's see, David Johnson. Yes, you were right. Let's update David Johnson here. He is now updated. He's playing. Bad news for Duke Johnson. Duke Johnson sent back to the waiver wire. Dobbins or Damian Harris? I would probably lean towards Dobbins over Damian Harris. Premium sub, Leo. Thanks, man. James White or Michael Pittman? I would lean towards Pittman. Sam, is your phone number still the same? I want to ask you something. Danny, good to see you. Yeah, my phone number is still the same. If it's a fantasy question, though, Danny, good to see you, by the way. I hope you're doing well. If it's a fantasy question, you can just send it in the chat. I'll get to you. Hurst or Goddard? I like Goddard a little bit more than Hurst still. I'm definitely playing Lamar Jackson over Taysom Hill. Yo, Sam, I've been asking since you started the stream. Zach, thanks for sticking around, man. But Devontae Booker, Kenyon Drake, or Gaskin? I would rank those guys as Gaskin, then Booker, then Drake. But they're all really close. Gaskin's going to probably touch the ball 20 times a day, so I do like him a lot. Hope you're having a good morning. Thanks, Landon. Would I play Landry, Lazard over Boyd? It's a close one. Probably, though. I'd probably play Lazard over Boyd. I just don't want any Bengals offensive players in my lineups. Amari Cooper, Samuel, or Pittman, please. I've been asking for so long. Brendan, I would probably be going with Pittman out of all of those guys. And he does have more risk involved with him. Amari Cooper's probably the safest option, but I would lean towards Pittman. Just subbed. Thanks, man. Which two? Kamara, Carson, Gaskin, Booker. I would probably go with Chris Carson and Gaskin there. I'm playing Gaskin over Alvin Kamara. And again, guys, you can answer all your start-sit questions on the WalterPicks app on the iOS App Store. We were ranked as the number 35 app in sports, I believe, this morning. Let me pull this up. Someone can let me know if that's changed. But very cool. Number 36 in sports on the App Store. Our best ranking this season was actually 24. We cracked the top 25 at one point. But right now we're ranked number 36. If you guys all go use the app for your start-sit decisions, I bet we can get to 25. Please, I need help For flex, T. Higgins or Snell? I would lean Snell. Happy fantasy football day, man. Aaron Jones, Allen Robinson. I would lean towards Aaron Jones. Is Mark Andrews playing? Probably not. That's what it's looking like for him. Let's get to 2.5K subs before Christmas. Zach, that's a fantastic goal, man. 2,500 YouTube subs. Let's get it done, man. Who has higher ceiling, Pittman or Chark? I would lean towards Chark. And hopefully, I feel like I've asked some people, like, share our content with your friends. And they're like, no, I don't want my friends to beat me in fantasy football. So hopefully once the fantasy season ends, more of us can share our content with your friends, and we can grow those YouTube subscribers. Hope you have a great day. Thanks, man. You too. And definitely, if you haven't checked us out on the iOS App Store, the WalterPicks app, we give you boom probability, the probability of your player scoring over 25 points, bust probability, the probability based on 10,000 simulations of the week of your player going under 10 points, and we give you the most accurate projections that exist in the universe using artificial intelligence and machine learning, more accurate than ESPN, Yahoo, PFF, any other source you use for projections. We've been more accurate than them over the last 2 years. David Montgomery or Miles Sanders? I'd go Sanders over David Montgomery. Lazard or Deontay? Definitely Deontay Johnson. Herbert, Kyler, or Taysom? Oh, that's a tough choice. I would probably lean towards Kyler, though. Chubb or Henry? I would lean towards Derrick Henry, but it's very close. Hey, man, I've been here since 300. Jonah, you're the man. Do I trade Aaron Jones, James Robinson, or Gibson for Robbie Anderson and MT? No, I don't think I would do that. If you're trading any of those guys, it should probably be Gibson, but all those guys have league-winning upside. Adrian or Carry-On? I would probably lean towards Adrian Peterson. Must-win week, Deebo Samuel or Hunt? I like Deebo Samuel a lot. He saw 13 targets. He's one of the best yards after the catch receivers in the NFL. I do like Deebo Samuel a whole lot. I think I would be playing him over Hunt. JT or Booker? Oh, it's a close one. I would probably lean towards Jonathan Taylor, but it's very close. Carson or Mostert? Who gives more points? App says Carson. I would lean towards Carson as well, though I see the argument for starting Mostert over Carson. David Johnson or Devontae Booker? I would lean towards Booker. I don't trust David Johnson at all. And we just updated his projection in the WalterPicks app. We have him projected, I think, for 9 points. Gaskin or Booker PPR? I like Gaskin more than Booker. Hey, Sam, thanks for your help. No problem, Neil. Should I drop Boyd for Shepard, Pittman, Lazard, or Beasley rest of season? Yeah, I would drop him for Beasley or Shepard. I'm playing Justin Jefferson over Michael Thomas this week. Fitzpatrick or Rivers? I'd go Rivers. Fitzpatrick's not playing, actually. Tua Tagovailoa is getting the nod. So you can trust you can't trust Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's not playing, so I would not be starting him. Play Julio if he plays. Yes, Ryan, you got to play Julio Jones. He's only going to be out there if he knows he can play. And if Julio Jones knows he can play, he's going to be top 10 wide receiver in the NFL when he's out there. Julio Jones, guys, he's struggled with injuries this season, but he's also balled out while he's been out there on the field. Number 3 in yards per route run. Prop pick of the week. Yeah, we got people coming back for the prop pick because we've had 10 out of 13 accuracy, giving away our favorite prop pick of the week on our live stream. And you will be getting a free player prop pick in 7 minutes. I'll be announcing the free prop pick of the week. And you can also get access to all of our props. We got 8 exploitable player prop picks identified using AI in the WalterPicks app on the iOS App Store. You can start the free 3-day free trial. You get access for 3 days, see what you're paying for, see if it's really something you want to do. Have you set up your Christmas tree, Zach? No, I have not set up my Christmas tree yet. Mark Andrews, what do I do? He's not starting, so don't start him. Jets hold Devontae Booker under 30 rushing yards. Bold prediction, possible, but I think Booker could get some work in the receiving game as well. Ebron or Hurst? I would lean towards Ebron over Hurst. Julio or Jefferson? I like Jefferson more than Julio, but I want both of them in my starting lineup. Montgomery or Zeke? I lean towards Montgomery over Zeke this week. Montgomery is looking like a high-end running back too. He's seeing 90% of the snaps for the Bears. His highest workload he's seen is the most involved he's ever been in the passing game. Montgomery's a pretty good option, guys, in PPR leagues. The best defensive streams is the Dolphins. I like the Dolphins a lot this week. The Raiders, obviously, because they're up against Adam Gase. And I also like the Seahawks defense. The Seahawks defense, I think, is going to win some people their first round of the playoffs with the Jamal Adams revenge game against the Jets that's happening in Week 14. Pick 2, Zeke, Sanders. Montgomery, Mostert. I would probably go with Sanders and Montgomery there. Mostert's very much in the conversation too. Is it worth starting both Jamal Williams and Aaron Jones? Yeah, it is that's a safe play. It limits your upside, but it raises your floor if you're starting 2 guys from the same team. Same thing with Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods. If you have both of them, at least one of them is going to do well. Yeah, there's no need to spam There's absolutely no need to spam, especially on the YouTube chat. One of the best parts about YouTube is we don't need to spam. Cup or Montgomery? I would lean towards Cup over Montgomery, but I think Montgomery is probably the safer option. Gaskin or Gibson? I'd for sure going Gaskin over Gibson. I got the hiccups. I've been going since 8:45 a.m. I'll be live up until 1. It's almost 11, so that means we got a couple hours left. We're starting to get towards kickoff. Very exciting. You'll see me gain energy throughout this live stream. If you've been here since the beginning, hopefully you're starting to see it already. But as we get closer and closer to 1 o'clock, I will get more and more excited. Woods or Claypool? I'd go Woods for sure over Claypool this week. By the way, there's no weather concerns in the games this week. No wind over 25 miles an hour. Is Lamar a safe start? Yeah, he's an extremely safe start. Gaskin or Debo? Premium sub. Sharks, thanks for being a premium sub, man. I would argue that Debo Samuel's got more upside than Myles Gaskin. He plays the higher upside position, but Gaskin's safer. So if you want a safe floor, you go with Myles Gaskin. If you want the high ceiling, you go with Debo Samuel. And guys, if you haven't checked out the WalterPicks app yet on the iOS App Store, you got to go check it out. It helps you with your start-sit decisions. I gave everyone 25 free start-sit comparisons this morning, and it is going to help you become a more informed start-sit decision maker. And it's completely free to download and to test out. So definitely go check that out. And it's going to probably give you even more accurate information than I can even provide you in this live stream. Been asking, pick 3, Sanders, Carson, Eckler, and Mostert. I would probably go with Sanders, Eckler, and Mostert there. I feel like I've been flip-flopping between Carson and Mostert. I think I got to take a stance here. I'm leaning towards Mostert over Chris Carson. I think based on the numbers I'm looking at right now, Chris Carson played around 40% of the snaps for the Seattle Seahawks last week. And I do expect that to increase to at least around 50%. But Mostert is very, very he's got a really high ceiling for me this week. Why no love for Samsung users? Wayne, we had to choose which one to go first, and Apple's just the bigger market. But Wayne, we're coming to Android very soon. Yes, Lamar's going to be activated. Helped you win your last 3 weeks. Let's go. Hopefully you can make a playoff run. I can't wait for some of our subscribers to win their championships. You have def gained energy since 9. Yeah, that's you guys, the people that wake up with me 9, they see me finish my coffee in the morning, and then I slowly start to gain more energy throughout the day. And Keel Harry or Mike Williams, definitely Mike Williams. Carr or Watson? I'd probably still go Watson. Favorite QB play? Trevor. There's a lot of good QBs this week. I think Kirk Cousins is in a fantastic spot. I think that Mitch Trubisky is a sleeper who has thrown 3+ touchdowns against the Lions, and the last 4 times he's played the Lions. This would be his 5th straight game against the Lions, throwing 3+ touchdowns. I think that another sleeper this week is Derek Carr, who I think could bounce back against the Jets. No better team to play if you're looking for a bounce back game than the Jets. I also think Jared Goff is a pretty good streamer as well. No Trace McSorley, I know. Lamar's back. Devontae Parker or Debo Samuel? I like Debo Samuel. Love the app. Thanks, man. Yeah, I would be playing Latavius Murray over Darrell Henderson. Darrell Henderson at any given week is going to lose this starting job to Cam Akers. Henderson has been losing steam as the season has gone along, and Akers is looking like the best back in the Rams backfield. So I don't trust Darrell Henderson really at all. I'm playing Lamar over Tannehill. Tannehill also, though, a pretty good option this week. Where were you the night of the goal line pick against the Seahawks in Super Bowl? Zach, that's top 5 best nights of my life. I was at home with all of my high school friends watching it together, and we had a snow day the following day. It was easily top 5 nights of my life. I got a bloody nose in the celebration. It was amazing. Agholor or Gar or Gore. I would go Agholor over Gore. Do you think Aaron Jones re-signs with the Packers? Depends who gives him the most money. I wouldn't be surprised if he does, though. It's a good place for him to be. Yeah, Zach, it was amazing. Honestly, amazing. I don't know when the next Super Bowl we will get is as Pats fans. It could be a very, very long time. Hudson, Walter, can you rank Adrian Peterson, Devin Singletary, Hollywood Brown, Kiki QT in a non-PPR? This is crucial for me, man. Yeah, first off, Hudson, my name's actually Sam. I built an artificially intelligent algorithm. I named him Walter. I built an app based off that algorithm. It's a classic mistake, though, so no worries. And yeah, I can rank these players for you, though the app on the iOS App Store, Hudson, for free can rank these players for you as well. I would rank these guys as Hollywood Brown number 1, Kiki QT number 2, then Singletary, then Adrian Peterson. I hope that helps. Ferkser or Rudolph? I would probably lean towards Rudolph, but it's going to be whichever one falls into the end zone. Both of them are probably going to have around 3 catches. Dobbins or Kupp? I definitely like Cooper Kupp more than Dobbins. Good morning, Sam. Good morning, Patrick. Good to see you, man. CB Fishing, should I worry about Hopkins today? Yeah, you can be a little bit worried, but not worried enough to take him out of your starting lineup. Even though he's up against Jalen Ramsey, it's still DeAndre Hopkins. So you got to still trust him in your starting lineup, man. And if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, you got to go subscribe. We got 50 people watching live on YouTube right now. We got 150 watching live on TikTok. The YouTube live stream, it's a little less spammy in the chat, so you might enjoy that live stream more. Definitely go check it out. Hit that like button if you're watching live on YouTube. Helps us out a ton. Takes 2 seconds. Really do appreciate that. Dobbins or Shepard? I like Dobbins more than Shepard, but it's close. Kamara or Brown at flex? If that's AJ Brown, you gotta love AJ Brown. Should I worry about DeAndre Hopkins? You can worry, but you can't take him out of your starting lineup. What are your top 5 running backs? PPR, heart your content. You're going to do big things, man. Keep it up. Thanks, Evan. Yeah, I've been rattling off my top 5 running backs just off the top of my head. I think since around like 2 months ago, and it really hasn't changed that much. Top 5 for me in no particular order: Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook, Nick Chubb, and I think that Alvin Kamara was in that conversation. Now with Taysom Hill, I would argue James Robinson is in that conversation as well. In Christian McCaffrey, obviously top 5. Aaron Jones in the top 5 conversation with Christian McCaffrey out as well. Is Tannehill a safer play than Lamar? No, he's not safer than Lamar. Lamar is safer. Stephon or Aaron? I would probably go Stephon Diggs. I think Stephon Diggs is going to have a big bounce back game. I think Cole Beasley is going to be a bounce back sleeper as well. Morning, Sam. Good morning, man. I've been up since 4:30. It does not feel like the morning for me. I do think Evan Ingram's a pretty good option. I know that Evan Ingram has been more and more involved in that Giants offense, and it's concerning without Daniel Jones, but Evan Ingram still has more upside than most players. Beasley or Marvin Jones? Pro Skier, you're an OG follower, man. I appreciate you so much. Yeah, I would probably go Beasley over Marvin Jones. Do you think Kamara will break his streak of bad games? It's definitely possible. And I saw a question about the prop picks. It is 11:02, so it is time for the free prop pick of the week. And the free player prop pick of the week, I'm very excited about this one because I did a lot of digging, and Walter identified this one very quickly. And this free prop pick of the week is Nick Chubb over 7 receiving yards. That's where they set the line, 7. Some places you're going to see 10. He's going over 10 receiving yards today, guys. Chubb is coming off a 3-reception game, which was his first game with more than 1 reception this season. However, if we take a closer look at Nick Chubb, he's actually ran more routes than Kareem Hunt in 4 out of the 6 games that he's played this season. And he has 3+ receptions in half of his games. Walter has Chubb projected for 16 receiving yards this week. He should only need 1 catch to beat this prop. And he had 3+ receptions in half of his games last season. It's not like Nick Chubb is unfamiliar to getting 3+ catches in a game. And when he gets 3+ catches, he's going to clear this prop with ease. Over 7 yards. They're giving us away free money. I'm all in on Nick Chubb over. He's going to get over 10 receiving yards. You can probably find Nick Chubb over 10 on any book. I'm all in on Nick Chubb over 10 receiving yards today. That's the free prop pick of the week, and I'll be announcing that one again throughout the show because I'm sure more people will be coming back for the free prop pick. We've gone 10 for 13 giving away free prop picks this season. Dobbins or Jonathan Taylor? I like Jonathan Taylor more. App says Dobbins is not playing. Let me double check that because Dobbins is playing. There's been a lot, guys. There's been a lot to keep track of this season with the COVID stuff. There's been a lot of injuries, as there always is. It's been a lot to keep track of. And the app does have Dobbins out, so let me update this. The Dobbins is updated in the app now if you close and open it. Damian Harris, Benny Snell, or Latavius Murray? I would probably go Latavius, Benny, then Damian Harris. Is Swift coming back? No, Neil, he's out again this week. Very concerning for the injury that he has. Sup, bro? Ridley or Aaron Jones? I like Ridley more than Aaron Jones, but both of them are really good options. And again, appreciate you trying out the WalterPicks app on the iOS App Store. Can answer all your start-sit questions. And I just gave everyone 25 free comparisons. So it can help you out for free. And if you like the app, give it a 5-star review in the iOS App Store. I want to see if we can become a top 25 sports app by the end of the day. We're at number 36 right now. We've been as high as 24 this year. Cousins or Watson? I like Cousins more than Watson. Gaskin, Kamara, Booker. I would rank those guys as Gaskin, then Kamara, then Booker. I just woke up and hopped on the live. Andrew, that's what I'm talking about, man. Welcome. Good to have you here. Hit that like button if you haven't hit that like button yet on YouTube. It helps us out a ton. Also, hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to YouTube yet. Hope you're having a good morning, man. Thanks, man. I am having a fantastic morning. This is my favorite day of the week. The lead up to the football games is almost as good as the football games themselves. Just subscribe. Thanks, man. Montgomery, Drake, Gibson, Carson. Pick 3. I'd go Montgomery, Carson, and Drake there. I think Gibson has increased risk this week against the Steelers. Best rest of season kicker. I do think Koo is number 1, but Sly, who is on, I forget his first name, Jason Sly. I don't spend very much time thinking about kickers, but Sly's been great on the Panthers too. Devontae Booker or Wayne Gallman. I'm leaning towards Booker. Yeah, I'm leaning towards Booker as well there. I think Gallman has scored 6 touchdowns in his last 5 games, but that streak could end today without Daniel Jones in the lineup. I'm leaning Booker over Gallman as well. Yeah, I'm okay CB Fishing starting Booker over Landry also. Kamara or Brown at flex? I'd go Brown if that's AJ Brown. Can you rank Hopkins, DK, and Tyreek rest of season? Yeah, I'd probably go Tyreek, Hopkins, then DK. But, I mean, all 3 of those guys could easily finish as the number 1 receiver for the rest of the season. Mims or Lamb? I like Mims over Lamb. Mims, guys, he's top 10 in the NFL in terms of air yard metrics. How deep his passes are and how many passes he's seeing is top 10 in the NFL. That's basically what air yards tells us. It's how far the ball travels before reaching a receiver. And in total air yards over the last month, Denzel Mims is up there with some of the best players in the NFL. He has really high upside. Do I start Crowder or Jarvis Landry? I'd probably go Landry. Carson or Hopkins at flex? I would lean towards Hopkins, though Chris Carson is safer. I'm feeling good about Julio Jones, guys. He's going to be out there, and when Julio Jones is out there on a football field, all he does is ball out. I'm trusting Julio Jones to do very well today. Hilaire or Kupp? Definitely Kupp. I don't trust Clyde Edwards-Helaire really at all anymore. He needs a touchdown. Since Le'Veon Bell has arrived, he has had an extremely low floor. Crowder, Perriman, or Mims? I would rank them probably in the reverse order now. And this is a sad one for me, man, because Jameson elite, Crowder is elite, but I would lean towards Mims, then Perriman, then Crowder, just based on how the Jets are using them. Does Hurst wearing his mental health cleats make him more likely to go off? Hurst or Hooper? I do love what Hayden Hurst supports. I think mental health is often not talked about enough. It is an extremely important thing in life, just as important really as physical health. And yeah, I do like Hayden Hurst this week. I probably like him more than Austin Hooper, but I don't know if the cleats are exactly what's going to do it. No problem, Lewis. I'm here for you, man. Bold prediction, Hopkins over 75 receiving yards and 10 plus targets against Ramsey. Yeah, my bold prediction was Hopkins over 100 receiving yards. That was very bold. Bold, all caps is how I like to keep it. Pittman or QT? I like Pittman more than QT. Lamar or Taysom Hill? Guys, you got to trust Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's a top 5 quarterback option this week in fantasy. He's probably going to win leagues, even though he's had a down season for where you drafted him. If you're still in the playoffs with Lamar Jackson, very good sign for you. I think Lamar Jackson is going to really pick it up in these last four or 5 weeks of the season. James White or Gio Bernard? I like White more than Gio. I don't trust a single Bengals player. And if you notice, I'm basically any Bengals player that comes up in a question, I'm just telling you not to start them because they all have such a low floor without Joe Burrow. It's sad. It's sad. The offense is sad without Joe Burrow. Just gave 5 stars. Thanks, man. Rudolph or Font? I like Noah Fant more than Kyle Rudolph. Clyde Moss or Carrion? Clyde Moss or Carrion? I would probably rank them in that order. Must win game. Start 2 of 3. Gaskin, Claypool, and Samuel. I do think Myles Gaskin is the safest option on that list, and Deebo Samuel has the highest upside. So personally, I'd go Gaskin and Samuel there. Jamal Williams or Marquise Brown? Interesting one. I would probably go with Marquise Brown, but I've been swinging and missing on Marquise Brown a lot this season. So Jamal Williams is probably safer. Morning, Sam. Walter still has DJ as injured. You got to close the app and open it again, Zach, and then it'll be updated. Should you start him or Gallman? I would probably start him over Gallman. So subbed on YouTube. Thanks, man. Can I trust starting Gaskin? Yes, you can definitely trust starting Myles Gaskin. He's going to get 20 plus touches today in an offense where the only other running back playing today is Patrick Laird, who is actually a guy that I really like. But I do think Gaskin's going to get 20-plus touches. Laird is more of a special teams player. Bold prediction, Darnold over 250 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. That's very bold. And if that happens, one of my bold predictions, which is the Jets get their first win today, could come true. But I don't think it's likely. Do I start Chark or Ayuk? I would definitely start Chark over Ayuk. Devontae Booker. Yeah, he's a running back 2 this week. Without Josh Jacobs playing, Devontae Booker is a running back 2. Absolutely, you can trust him over a lot of different players. I'd hate playing more than one tight end. I absolutely hate it because tight ends have such low floors. So I'm probably still playing Nyheim Hines over a guy like TJ Hawkinson. Wayne Gallman or Booker? I like Booker more than Gallman. How you doing, Sam? I'm doing great, man. Thanks for asking. This is my favorite day of the week. It is football Sunday. I love the lead up to football. I hope you guys are all excited for football as well. I appreciate every single football week. Why you got to diss my Jets like that? Oh man, the Jets. I cannot believe Adam Gase is still employed. What do you think about Lamar Jackson? Well, I think Lamar Jackson's a top 5 quarterback option this week and for the rest of the season. I think Lamar Jackson's going to win fantasy leagues. Good job if you made it here, despite him being underperforming this season. I think Lamar is going to do great this week against a bad Dallas Cowboys defense. Who has been the best waiver wire pickup this season? I think it's been Justin Jefferson or it's been James Robinson. No projections on the app for Dobbins. You got to close your app, open it again, and Dobbins will have projections. I just updated that. Another close one in the app, Corey Davis or Juju. I like Corey Davis more than Juju this week. I like Corey Davis a lot. And by the way, guys, if you missed the free prop pick of the week, it is Nick Chubb is going over 10 receiving yards. He is going over 10. It is happening. Nick Chubb is running more routes than Kareem Hunt. And I did some digging on this. Nick Chubb, guys, he's run more routes than Kareem Hunt in 4 out of the last 6 games. He went over 3 catches in half of his games last season. He had 3 catches last week. They're involving Nick Chubb more in the passing game. This line should be closer to 18 than to 8. Most books have Nick Chubb at over 8 receiving yards. That's cash, guys. Easy prop pick of the week. Nick Chubb over 10 receiving yards. Some books have it as low as 7. Sam, pick 3. Chubb, Montgomery, Jones, Mostert, Gaskin. I would lean towards Chubb, Gaskin, and Jones out of those guys. But those are all really good options. I like all those guys this week. Chubb, top 10 option. Montgomery, solid running back 2, seeing very consistent volume in both the running game and receiving game. Aaron Jones, to me, still has top 5 upside. I made a video about Aaron Jones this week. You shouldn't be panicking about Aaron Jones. Mostert has top 10 upside. Gaskin has a running back 2 floor. He's probably going to see 20-plus touches. All those guys are very good options. 2 of Mims, Perriman. I would just go Mims and Perriman. Just go Mims and Perriman. One of them's probably going to far outperform their projection. Why do you pick Hines over JT? No, I picked JT over Hines. Michael, I like JT more than Hines. I think Jonathan Taylor's the better runner. And I do see that Jonathan Taylor had 22 carries in his last game. That's a lot more upside than you're getting with Nyheim Hines. I see that you have gotten more energy from earlier. Jake, that's what I'm talking. I told you when you logged on at 8:45, I said, listen, I'm waking up with you right now. As we get closer and closer to 1 o'clock, you're going to see me get more and more animated. So I'm glad that that's coming through for you. Pick 2, Sanders, Dobbins, and Parker. I would go with those first 2, Sanders and Dobbins. I'm worried about Parker with Tua playing instead of Fitzpatrick. Hey, Mr. Walter. Mr. Walter. My name's actually Sam. I built an artificially intelligent algorithm. His name is Walter. You can find his projections in the WalterPicks app on the iOS App Store. Classic mistake, though, man. Don't worry about it. Brandon Cooks or Michael Thomas? That's a close one. I would lean towards Brandon Cooks, but I understand playing Michael Thomas over Cooks as well. Personally, I'd go Cooks over Thomas this week. Cooks is the clear wide receiver 1 option now for Deshaun Watson. He's got really high upside. I'm still fast asleep when you start the live. I've been up since 4:30. Finishing the fantasy research, updating stuff in the app. And we are live on YouTube and TikTok right now. Appreciate everyone that's tuned in. If you haven't checked out the WalterPicks app yet on the iOS App Store, you got to go check that out. And if you have not subscribed on our YouTube channel, you got to go do that as well. We're going to pass 1,700 YouTube subscribers today. Someone in the comments can let me know what we're at in terms of YouTube. Where do I bet? DraftKings, FanDuel, MGM Sportsbook. Those are the 3 big ones. MT or Lockett. I like Lockett more than MT, though MT is safer. I'd say Lockett has more upside, though. Where are the best running back waiver wire pickups this week? Devontae Booker is definitely up there. he's going to be starting for the Raiders. He could see 20 touches today. Myles Gaskin, if he's available, he was still available in 30% of leagues as of yesterday. I also think a good sneaky pickup at the running back position is Adrian Peterson or Kerryon Johnson, who I don't love, but with DeAndre Swift out again, they're also in the conversation. Hewick, good to see you, man. Ridley or Robert Woods? I'd go Ridley, but I like both of them. I am a little worried about the injury for Kyler, but I still think I'm starting him in most of the start-sit questions I'm seeing. Hayden Hurst or Kyle Rudolph? I like Hurst more than Rudolph. Thoughts on Austin Hooper? He's a pretty good option at the tight end position, but that's not saying much because the tight ends absolutely suck this season. Hey, Sam, random question. What did you have for breakfast? I had bagel and cream cheese for breakfast, man. Hit us with a DraftKings play. Yeah, Daniel Grease, good to see you, man. I am all in on Myles Gaskin and Miles Sanders on DraftKings today. I got a lot of lineups with both the Miles. We're riding high on the Miles this week. The Miles is the Miles I. The Miles is the plural of Miles. Miles Gaskin and Miles Sanders, great options in DFS. I also really do like Corey Davis at his price in DFS this week. I think Corey Davis is very underpriced. Hurst or Goddard? I like Hurst over Goddard, but it's close. Tua, Carr, or Trubisky? I would rank them as in probably the reverse order. Trubisky, Carr, then Tua. Thoughts on Austin Hooper? I think he's in the top 12 tight end conversation, but he's also very risky in a run-first offense. Sam, you think Jets get first win today? I think it's possible. It's one of my bold predictions of the week. It's not likely that the Jets win a game this season. That's why I bet a lot of money on under 7 wins for the Jets this year with the worst coach in the NFL, Adam Gase. But I do think this is one of their best chances at a wins all season. Coming against a Raiders team that looked absolutely atrocious last week. Be right back. I'm going to use the app and then ask you. Sounds good. Yeah, that's exactly the process you should be using. Go check the WalterPicks app in the iOS App Store. I just gave everyone 25 free start-sit comparisons. It gives you boom probability based on 10,000 simulations of the week. It gives you accurate projections based on machine learning technology. And then you can come back to the live stream, let me know what it said, and see if we agree, disagree with what the algorithm is spitting out this week. Robert Woods or Lockett? I like Woods, I think, a little bit more than Lockett in terms of his floor, but I'd argue Lockett has a higher ceiling than him. Gore or Devontae Parker? I just can't enjoy having Gore in my lineups. It's impressive that Gore is still going, but I would go Devontae Parker. How's your week been? Greg, it's been great, man. Thoughts on Mixon rest of season? I don't like anyone on the Bengals team rest of season because Joe Burrow's out. That whole offense is just going to be trash. And guys, if you're watching live on YouTube, hit that like button. Helps us out a ton. I want to try to get to 100 likes. See if we can do that. Hit that like button. Helps us out a ton. Takes 2 seconds. And if you're watching live on TikTok, you can also come join us live on YouTube. YouTube's a good time, guys. The chat is a little less spammy, and we've passed 1,600 YouTube subscribers in under 3 weeks. So we're blowing up on YouTube as well, which has been a lot of fun. It's been a great time on YouTube. Appreciate everyone that has subscribed on YouTube a lot. Sam, big fan, been here since week 1. Jeffrey, you're the man, one of the OG. You're from Mass. Hopefully one day we can talk football. Yeah, hopefully we can get a drink and talk football someday, Jeffrey. WalterPicks app said start Gurley over J.D. McKissick, but I don't trust Gurley against the Saints. Yeah, Keon, I don't trust Gurley against the Saints either. Don't start him. I do not want Gurley anywhere near my lineups. I'm honestly okay going McKissick over Gurley. Gurley is the biggest concern for Gurley going into this year was his knee. And now we see him pop up on the injury report with a knee injury. And the second that happened, I basically crossed Todd Gurley off of every single list that I have and said, yep, no more Todd Gurley for me this season. I want nothing to do with him anymore. And it's sad to say because Gurley's been one of the best running backs in the league over the last 3 years. But I'm out on Todd Gurley with his knee injury. Mostert or Tyler, you gotta finish the sentence there. Hurst or Goddard? I would go Hurst over Goddard. I like Hurst a lot. The app said Hines over Corey Davis. Do you agree? Nope, I disagree. I would rather have Corey Davis than Nyheim Hines this week. And again, thanks. That's a good process. Go use the app, see what it says. We'll see if we agree, we disagree. Again, the app has historically been more accurate than me, but I do like Corey Davis more than Nyheim Hines this week. I think Nyheim Hines, yeah, we have Nyheim Hines, I think, projected for without Jonathan Taylor. So I just updated Nyheim Hines' projection in the app. Thoughts on Scary Terry? I like Scary Terry a lot. He's seen over 7 targets, 7+ in every single game. Use the app, asking to confirm. Parker or Crowder? I would lean towards Parker over Crowder. And again, thanks for using the WalterPicks app in the iOS App Store. It gives you all the information you need to make your start-sit decisions by simulating each week 10,000 times and by using machine learning projections. Prop lock this week. Yes, Joseph, the lock of the week for player props is Nick Chubb over 7 receiving yards. I'm saying over 10 just to be safe because some books has it at 7, some books have it at 10. But guys, Nick Chubb over the last in his 6 games, he's actually run more routes than Kareem Hunt in 4 of them. He had over 3 catches. 3+ catches in half of his games last season, coming off a week with 3 catches. It's pretty clear they want Nick Chubb more involved in the passing game. We're locking in Nick Chubb over 10 receiving yards today. Lock it in, guys. Juju or Sterling Shepard. I like Sterling Shepard, but without Daniel Jones, I'm probably leaning Juju. Just subscribe. Thanks, man. Dobbins or David Johnson? I like Dobbins more. I don't trust David Johnson really at all this week. Guys, we're 10 likes away from 100 likes on YouTube. If you haven't liked yet, hit that like button. It helps us out a ton. Hurst or Ferkser this week? I would probably lean Hurst over Ferkser. I'm hesitant to agree with Walter and play Ferkser, but maybe you can convince me. Yeah, this is the thing with Ferkser. Jonnu Smith is out. Ferkser is probably going to get around 3 catches, and one of them has a pretty high likelihood to be a touchdown, which is why you like the upside with Ferkser. But I still think I like Hurst more than him as just a part of that Falcons offense in a game that I think is going to be pretty high scoring with the Saints. So I'm okay with Hurst over Ferkser, but at the end of the day, when it comes to tight ends that aren't named Travis Kelce, if they don't score a touchdown, they're probably going to bust. Like that's just how brutal the tight end position has been this season in fantasy. Hurst or Rudolph? I like Hurst more. 1.69 thousand. We got 1.69K YouTube subscribers. Who wants to be our 1,700th YouTube subscriber? If you're watching on TikTok, hit that subscribe button. You could be our 1,700th YouTube subscriber. Really appreciate that. Is it time to bail on Zeke? Yeah, it's been time. And I was actually, I've pretty much ridden the Zeke, the path of Zeke like pretty perfectly this season. I was out on him the second the offensive line was decimated. Then as the offensive line started to come back, I said, no, now it's time to buy Zeke early. He had a couple good games, one really good game with the full offensive line, not even the full offensive line, like 2 out of the 5 starters back. And now the first drive of their last game, both of those offensive linemen go down with injury. And now it's just time to bail on Zeke. Is the app free? Yes, the app is completely free to download. I also give 25 free start sit comparisons, 1 free trade analyzed, and you can start a 3-day free trial for full access to all the premium features of the app. The premium features of the app are exploitable player prop picks each week. We've had 68% accuracy over the last 2 years, over 180 picks, and a DFS lineup optimizer to dominate DraftKings and FanDuel, as well as unlimited start, sit, and trade advice in the WalterPicks app. That's what you get with your 3-day free trial in the WalterPicks app. Damian Harris or Kareem Hunt? I'd for sure go Kareem Hunt there. Hey, Sam, Noah Fant, Rudolph, or Tonian? I'd like Noah Fant the most. Do you like the Titans receivers today? Yes, I love the Titans receivers today. I think A.J. Brown and Corey Davis are both going to have very good games. Gaskin need to update on Walter. He's projected 9. Let's check on Gaskin here. Yes, you were right. We do need to update him. Thanks for the shout there. Gaskin has been officially updated. If you close your app and open it again. Yo, please notice me. Singletary or Adrian Peterson? Dylan. Both of those are really sketchy options, but I would lean Singletary. Gaskin or Booker? I like Gaskin more. What are your thoughts on Tyler Lockett? He's a boom and bust, but the boom is so big with Tyler Lockett that I'm okay continuing putting him in my starting lineup. Like his boom weeks are 40+ points. And so, yeah, I'm okay going with Tyler Lockett in a lot of situations. Watson or Herbert? App says Herbert, but I don't know. New England scares me against Belichick. Yeah, but the Patriots defense has actually been low-key very overrated this entire season. They had half their defense opt out before the season starts. They've dealt with some injuries. So I do think that Herbert is still a decent start this week. He's been great. News on Mark Andrews. Yeah, it's looking like he's not going to play. Sam, you should go live on Instagram so you can invite people to come with you. Yeah, Johnny, it's a good idea. We'll try that out hopefully eventually. Not today, though. I need another phone. I need another phone to go live on Instagram. Sam, what's up, my man? What jersey are you rocking today? I'm rocking Julian Edelman, RIP. Hopefully he can come back at some point this season. Hopefully this isn't his last season of his career. That'd be a sad way to go. But Julian Edelman, one of my favorite players in the NFL. Hey, Sam, thanks for help. Ayuk or DJ Chark this week? I like Chark, Nate. Who should I start, CEH or Booker? I like Booker. I like Booker more than Clyde. I think Clyde's very, very risky, has a really low floor. And guys, we're 4 likes away on YouTube from 100 likes. Hit that like button. If you haven't hit it yet, you can be our 100th like on our YouTube live. Yo, should I start Chubb or Terry? I would start Chubb over Terry, but both are really good options. Chubb has been an absolute tear. And Nick Chubb, guys, our free player prop pick of the week is Nick Chubb over 10 receiving yards. He's becoming more involved in that passing game. He has seen He had 3 catches for the first time this season. Last week, we passed 100 likes. Let's go on YouTube. And he had 3+ receptions in over half his games last season. He's run more routes than Kareem Hunt. I feel like the common fan thinks Hunt is kind of the catching back, Chubb is the rushing back. But in fact, Nick Chubb, they actually want to get involved in the passing game just as much as they want to get Kareem Hunt involved. He's run more routes than Kareem Hunt in 4 out of his 6 games this season. Nick Chubb is going over 10 receiving yards today, guys. Sam, thanks for all the help throughout the season. I'm going to take off. Good luck today. Will, love you, man. Good luck this week, and good luck in the playoffs. Thanks for tuning in. Just hit that like button. Thanks, Ian. Appreciate you. Zach got to 100. Let's go. 107 likes on our YouTube live. We're live on TikTok as well. Guys, if you haven't checked out the WalterPicks app on the iOS App Store, it can answer all your start-sit questions. That is actually going to give you more information than I can provide you in the short time I get to answer your questions on live. What the WalterPicks app gives you, boom and bust probability based on 10,000 simulations of each week. Will this player boom? Will this player bust? That's information you want to know. It also gives you the most accurate projections on the planet using machine learning and artificial intelligence. One more like from me. Charles, appreciate it, man. Here's a question you never get. Gostkowski or Parkey? I would probably go Gostkowski. Montgomery or Mostert? My philosophy on kickers, by the way, is if I'm spending more than 5 seconds thinking about a kicker, it's already been too long. Hey, Sam, not sure if you remember me, but I've been here since week 1. Aaron Levy, I definitely remember you, man, and really do appreciate your help and your work. Thanks, man. I appreciate you tuning in, Aaron, and being one of our avid followers. I appreciate our followers so much. The app says Kyler, but I need your opinion. Do I start Herbert? Yeah, I'd probably go Kyler over Herbert as well. Must-win week, Ridley or Booker? Definitely Ridley. Definitely Calvin Ridley. Need a 4-team parlay to save me this week. Yeah, let's look at some of the spreads. In just full transparency, if you've been following me from the beginning, you know this already. But I do not bet on spreads in the NFL. I only bet on player prop picks because I can convince myself. I've had a positive ROI on player props, 68% accuracy on over 180 picks over the last 2 years. So all my money gets funneled towards player prop picks. But I am happy to talk about spreads because spreads are very fun to talk about. And the only time I bet on spreads is on Thanksgiving because it's a tradition in my family. But let's look at some of the spreads of today. Let me pull these up for you. And I do think my bold prediction of the week is that the Falcons beat the Saints. The Falcons defense has been much, much better over the last month. It has been better than I think the common fan is realizing. The Falcons have a top 10 defensive unit over their last 3 games. And I think that they're going to play very well against the Saints this week. I also think that the Jets have a shot at their first win. So I think that the Vikings, the Falcons, the Dolphins, and the Seahawks are a very good 4-team parlay this week. Dobbins or Gibson? I would probably go Dobbins over Gibson. I don't like Gibson that much this week against the Steelers. The app has no projection for who? Let me see. It does have a projection for David Johnson. You just have to close the app and open it again. I did update that. Double check here, but I'm almost positive that I updated David Johnson's projection this morning. Calvin Ridley or Nick Chubb? I'd go Chubb, but I do really like Ridley today as well. I think both of them are must starts, to be honest. Nick Chubb, guys, he's on an absolute tear. You can't be benching Nick Chubb. And yeah, we do have a projection for David Johnson. Ridley or Mostert? Also didn't update Mostert on the app. I think Mostert is. I would be starting Ridley over Mostert. Let me check this Mostert projection. There's a lot to keep track of. Let's check if Mostert is updated. Yeah, Mostert is updated. Ferkser or Atkins? I'd like Ferkser more than Atkins. Pittman or Landry? I'd like Pittman more than Landry. And that is not a common take. I think most fantasy analysts are probably saying Landry over Pittman, but I'm not most fantasy analysts. And I think that Pittman has a lot more upside than Landry today. Hey, Sam, would you start Tua or Locke? Oh, I don't like either of them, to be honest. I'd probably start Tua. How are you doing, Maxie? Thanks for asking, man. I'm doing fantastic. Sunday's my favorite day of the week. I love the lead up to football on Sunday. We got an hour and a half till football kicks off. And if you've been here, I've been live since 8:45 a.m. I've been up since 4:30, finishing my fantasy research for the day to make sure I'm giving you all the best possible advice I can give. And I love Sundays, man. I'm always happy on Sundays. Dez revenge game. Yeah, can we just get one cool Dez Bryant catch this week? Just for us at home watching. Please, Dez Bryant, I would love to see him do something against the Dallas Cowboys this week. That would be so fun to watch. Must-win week, Ridley or Booker at flex. Ridley over Booker for sure. Guys, Calvin Ridley, Julio Jones, both must starts. What's up, Sam? I'm back. Missed the top prop pick. What is it? Yeah, good to see you back, man. The free player prop pick, Brendan. Good to see you back, man. The free prop pick of the week was Nick Chubb over 10 receiving yards. Low key, if you look into the numbers, Nick Chubb has ran more passing routes than Kareem Hunt in 4 out of the 6 games this season. Nick Chubb coming off a 3-catch game. He had 3+ catches in over 50% of his games last season. Nick Chubb's going over 10 receiving yards, guys. Got the David Johnson projection figured out. Nice. I like him with all the Houston wide receivers out. Yeah, Sandrum, that's the story that you're telling yourself if you're starting David Johnson today. My boy, Sam, how you doing, brother? Tommy, I'm doing great, man. How you doing? Must win, Claypool, Corey Davis, or Lazard? I like Corey Davis a ton this week. I do like Corey Davis. Who is a DFS lock? Also, do you think Booker is going to play with his value? Yeah, Mike, Booker's going to be a popular play this week. I do think he is a play. One of my favorite locks of the week, though, is Miles Sanders. I'm very, very high on Miles Sanders this week as a top 5 upside running back option. I think he's going to have his best week of the season against the Packers defense, allowing the second most fantasy points per game to running back this season, Mike. I'm all in on Miles Sanders. I have him in almost all of my DFS lineups. I also have Myles Gaskin. The two Miles paired together in a lot of my DFS lineups. Lockett or Kupp? I'd probably say Kupp is safer. Lockett has more upside. There's very few players without... Thanks for asking. Yeah, no problem, Tommy. There's very few players with higher upside than Tyler Lockett. What's the weather situation in Cleveland game today? Yeah, Ronnie, I think there's going to be a little bit of rain. But as you know from me, the only thing that I ever concern about is wind. I think that the quarterbacks and receivers, they can handle rain. The research that I have done is that there's only a statistically significant impact on offenses in the NFL with wind over 25 miles an hour. Otherwise, I'm not concerned. Hey, Sam, do you watch college football? No. I do all of my research on the rookie prospects in like the 2 weeks leading up to the NFL draft. I'll definitely be doing a lot of content on that on TikTok and YouTube leading up to the NFL draft. But I focus more on the data. I do a little film, but I don't watch during the season. I focus too much on the NFL during the season. What's up, Sam? How's it going? Going pretty well, Austin. Thanks for asking. Eckler or Gaskin? Definitely Eckler, man. Lamar or Watson? App says Lamar. Yeah, I definitely say Lamar as well. Lamar Jackson's the top 5 option at the quarterback position this week, guys. Gallman or Booker? I like Booker more. Thanks for that, man. I appreciate it. Herbert or Tannehill? I like Tannehill more than Herbert. Gaskin or Booker? I like Gaskin more than Booker. MT or A.J. Brown or Julio? I would rank those guys this week as A.J. Brown number 1, Julio Jones number 2, and Michael Thomas number 3. Goff or Tua? I like Goff a lot this week, guys. And there's a lot of interesting storylines happening this week, guys. The Cleveland Browns, 8-3 versus the Tennessee Titans, 8-3. Very similar teams, though to me, the Titans have a far superior offense. I think their passing attack is better than the Browns. I think that the Titans take down the Browns today. We also have the Dolphins starting Tua over Fitzpatrick, which I think is probably the wrong move with Tua dealing with some sort of injury. I think that the Dolphins, though, their defense is going to handle that Bengals offense. The Vikings are going to absolutely annihilate the Jacksonville Jaguars today. They have over a 90% win probability. I think that the Falcons are going to beat the Saints today. Jonathan Taylor officially active today, by the way. Eckler for Hunt and Amari, a good trade. Nope, I would hold on to Eckler, man. Eckler is the best player in that trade. Drake or Harris? I'd go Drake. Dobbins or Lat Murray? I like Dobbins more than Latavius Murray. Trubisky or Fitzpatrick? Fitzpatrick's not playing. Ryan Fitzpatrick is not playing today. Tua is. DeAndre Swift is also out. I like Tua a little bit, but I'd probably rather Trubisky than Tua. I'd probably rather Kirk Cousins. I'd probably rather Derek Carr. I would probably rather a lot of quarterbacks that are available on your waiver wire over Tua. Pick one: Pittman, Ayuk, or Boyd. Tommy, Pittman's going to have a good week this week, man. I think that he's got a really good matchup. Gaskin or Deontay Johnson? I would lean towards Deontay, but I'd say Gaskin is safer. Thoughts on MT rest of the year? Yeah, MT is, to me, settling in as a wide receiver 2, risky wide receiver 2 with some upside. Mahomes or Wilson? Never bench Mahomes, man. Never bench Mahomes. Is Fitzpatrick playing? No, Ryan Fitzpatrick is not playing. Justin Herbert or Josh Allen? I like Herbert, but I would pick Josh Allen more this week. You should start watching college football. It's pretty fun to watch. Yeah, there's just no defense in college football, so it is a very offensive game, which is fun to watch. Big Ben or Trubisky? I would probably lean towards Big Ben over Trubisky. Thoughts on MT rest of the year? I do like Michael Thomas as a wide receiver 2, especially when Breeze comes back. I think that should actually help him. And guys, Mitch Trubisky has thrown 3+ touchdowns against the Detroit Lions in 4 consecutive games against the Lions. This will be his 5th straight game throwing 3+ touchdowns against the Lions. He has upside. He has 3+ touchdown upside. I think he's going to continue the streak against the Lions. And Mitch Trubisky is actually on the streaming radar this week. He's also an option in DFS. And guys, if you're watching live on TikTok and you haven't subscribed to our YouTube yet, you got to go subscribe to YouTube. We have over 1,700 YouTube subscribers in under 3 weeks. We're posting a lot of good content there. We're live on YouTube right now too, and the chat is a little bit less spammy on YouTube as well, so you might enjoy that. And I'll try to get to all of your questions that I can. I will do my best. And yeah, we started here this morning. Someone can give me an update on the YouTube chat, what we're at in terms of subscribers now. Hey, Sam, would you go Josh Allen or Aaron Rodgers this week? I'd go Aaron Rodgers. Bernard or Akers? I would go Akers over Giovanni Bernard. Have you dropped the prop bet? Yes, the free prop pick of the week. And it's not surprising to me people are coming back for this because we are 10 out of 13 giving free prop picks away. In the WalterPicks app, our premium subscribers, which, by the way, you can start a 3-day free trial today, test out the premium subscription before you really pay. We got 8 exploitable prop picks in the WalterPicks app today. But the free prop pick of the week is Nick Chubb over 7 receiving yards. And I'm comfortable saying over 10 because I know in some books it's 10. On some books, on DraftKings and FanDuel, you get him over 7. And hear me out. I did a lot of digging on this one. Walter identified this one as well. Listen, Nick Chubb has had more routes run than Kareem Hunt in 4 out of the 6 games that he's played. The common fan thinks that Kareem Hunt's more of the receiving back, but Nick Chubb has been more involved in the passing game actually than Kareem Hunt in terms of routes run. And he's coming off a 3-reception game, and he had 3+ receptions in over half of his games last season. It's very clear they want to get Nick Chubb involved in the passing game. It's very clear he's capable of being involved in the passing game, and I believe Nick Chubb is going to beat this prop in under 2 catches. Like, he's going to have 1 catch, 15 yards. Prop's going to be over. It's going to be the first quarter. It's going to be fantastic. I think Nick Chubb over 10 yards is an absolute lock today. That is the free prop pick of the week. DFS question. Love the DFS questions. Who do you like at QB? I feel like it's tough this week. There's good ones with value. Yeah, there's a lot of different QB options on DFS this week. We have Mitch Trubisky has interesting upside stacked with Allen Robinson. Kirk Cousins, interesting upsides against a horrible Jaguars secondary. If the Jaguars can keep that game remotely close, the Vikings offense is going to put up fantasy points today. Kirk Cousins is an interesting option. I also think Derek Carr against the Jets is definitely worth consideration. Ryan Tannehill, also worth considering. All these guys, cheap quarterbacks in DFS. You got to be making lineups with some of these guys. Jameson, Elite Crowder, and QT are so cheap on DK this week as well. I know, Justin, but I actually like Denzel Mims and Perriman more than Jameson, Elite Crowder at this point. I did a deep dive into the numbers. I had to check my bias. I love Jameson, Elite Crowder, but he's not the one seeing the most valuable targets in that offense. The Jets offense has operated with 2 plays. They have 2 plays in their playbook. It is run up the middle with Frank Gore, and it is just throw the ball deep to Rashad Perriman or Denzel Mims. Those are their only 2 plays, and that really cancels out Jameson, Elite Crowder from their offense a lot. I hope he can bounce back, but Mims, to me, has the most upside in that offense. Must win, Debo, Higgins, or Pittman. Definitely Debo Samuel, guys. Debo Samuel had 13 targets last week. He is one of the best yards after the catch receivers in the NFL. You got to love Debo Samuel. For DFS, Bengals D versus Miami or Giants D versus Seattle? Oh, probably Bengals D. I definitely don't think you should be playing Giants defense. Justin Herbert or Deshaun Watson? I like Herbert more than Watson, but it's very close. Booker or Myles Gaskin? I got this one a lot today. I like Myles Gaskin more than Booker. Both of them are running back 2s, but to me, Myles Gaskin has a little bit more of a proven track record, and he has just such little competition in that backfield. It's just him and Patrick Laird, who's more of a special teams player today in that backfield. So Myles Gaskin's very safe. Reed or Ferkser this week and moving forward? I would argue Reed today and moving forward. I subbed McKissick, Kerryon Johnson, or Giovanni Bernard. Thanks for the sub, Lucas. I would rank those guys in that order. That's the order I would rank those guys in. Pick 3, Tyreek, Diggs, Jefferson, A.J. Brown. Definitely Tyreek Hill. Definitely Stephon Diggs. And I would probably lean A.J. Brown over Justin Jefferson, but it's really close. All 4 of those guys are straight cash. Must-win week, Ridley or Booker at flex. I would lean towards Ridley, guys. Calvin Ridley and Julio Jones to me are must starts. And if you're watching live on YouTube, guys, appreciate you so much. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Let's see if we can get to 200 likes on YouTube before the 1 o'clock games. That's been a goal of mine since we started these lives on YouTube. And we're live on YouTube and TikTok right now. We got close to 300 people tuned in on our live stream right now. Appreciate every single one of you listening. Seriously, this has been a dream come true this season, just with the following we currently have. And this is only the beginning. We're planning on continuing to grow as fast as possible. Thoughts on Hopkins? I think Hopkins, you can be concerned about him I understand the concern against Jalen Ramsey, but you cannot take him out of your starting lineup. It's still DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins still has very good upside this week as a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL. I'm still starting DeAndre Hopkins in fantasy. Hey, Sam, out of these 4, would you not start Debo, Jefferson, Claypool, QT? Definitely QT. Let's see what he does in that offense. Let's see what the workload looks like. Andrew got put in timeout for 15 minutes. I didn't spam this time. No worries, Andrew. I'll still read your questions. Mostert, Carson, Julio, Sanders, pick 3. Mostert, Carson, Julio, Sanders. I would rank these guys as Sanders number 1. I'm all in on Miles Sanders this week, guys. Sanders number 1, Julio number 2, and Mostert number 3. Must win, Carr or Matt Ryan? I would probably lean towards Derek Carr, but both of them are really good options. I think Derek Carr probably has more risk than Matt Ryan. Honestly, with Julio Jones back, Matt Ryan's safer than Derek Carr, but I think Derek Carr's got pretty good upside against a bad Jet secondary. Thielen or Booker? Definitely Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson are must starts. Same with Calvin Ridley and Julio Jones. Aaron Jones for Amari and Hunt. No, I wouldn't do that one. Taysom Hill or Trubisky? Oh, God. I honestly think I like Trubisky more than Taysom Hill this week. I think that the Falcons' defense is very underrated in terms of public perception. And that's why one of my bold predictions this week is the Falcons to beat the Saints, because the Falcons have actually had a top 12 defense in the NFL over the last month after being a bottom 5 defense for the first half of the season. So I do like the Falcons beating the Saints, and I think that the Saints offense is going to start to get predictable and beatable with Taysom Hill as each week goes on. Why Mostert over Carson? I think Mostert has more upside than Carson. Carson only played 40% of the snaps for the Seahawks in his first game back. We can expect that to bump up to around 50% at least, but if that stays around the same and they continue to give Carlos Hyde some of those red zone touches, I think Mostert has more upside. Kirk, Patrick, Chark, Pittman. I would rank these guys probably in that reverse order, but flopping Chark. I would probably say Chark, then Pittman, then Kirk, then Patrick. Hey, Sam, this is a must-win week. Must-win week for a lot of people, Gabe. Should I start Debo or Claypool? I like Debo Samuel a lot this week. He saw 13 targets last week, guys. He played 90% of the snaps for the 49ers, one of the best yards after the catch receivers in the NFL. And guys, if you're watching live on YouTube right now, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Helps us out a ton. We'll see if we can pass our 1,800 subscriber goal I set for myself at 8 a.m. this morning. Is there a way just to buy the prop bets? I don't do DFS. Nope, there's not a way to just do prop bets, but it's only $5 a month. You're getting your money back for the prop bets if you're using them. So I would still recommend trying out the app. And I encourage you, as your fantasy season ends, test out DFS a little. You can play on DraftKings and FanDuel for like less than $3 if you just want to test it out. But the prop picks are where it's at. I like the prop picks more than DFS too. And if you missed it, the free prop pick of the week is Nick Chubb going over 10 receiving yards today. What are the chances Waller goes for 75 yards and a TD? Andrew, I think it's a higher chance than most people probably realize. Darren Waller has been seeing some of the most deep targets per game in the NFL at the tight end position. He's leading them in air yards. He has a lot more upside than I think he has shown. And it could easily happen this week against the Jets, 75 yards and a TD. I think his over-under is around 50. Tonian or Font? I would lean towards Font over Tonian. Longtime YouTube subscriber and liker here. Raul, appreciate you, man. I like Ebron more than Austin Hooper. 14-man PPR league. Yeah, Leonardo. 14-man leagues. Those are tough. Going into playoffs, looks like you got a good squad there. I think Lamar Jackson can definitely be a league winner. Matt, good to see you again, man. Why is Walter so low on Gaskin? He's projected 10 points. Yeah, Matt, close the app, open it again, and you should get an updated projection for Myles Gaskin. That projection was outdated. David Johnson or Hines? What you got? Sam, must-win game. David Johnson or Hines? I would go David Johnson. Cam Akers or McKissick? I like Cam Akers a little bit more than McKissick. Is Fitzpatrick playing? No. Tua is playing over Ryan Fitzpatrick this week. You subscribed. Thanks, man. Flex, Parker, Cooks, Cooper, Drake. I would probably lean towards Brandon Cooks there. Brandon Cooks has a lot of upside this week, guys. He's the very clear number one passing target now for Deshaun Watson, and he's seeing very deep targets as well. He's got huge upside. Game day, baby. Let's go, Noah. This is my favorite day of the week. Matt, hope that worked. Thanks, man. Thanks for shouting it out, because there are times where I miss updating some people's projections. There's a lot to keep track of with the COVID madness this year, so appreciate you pointing that out. Dalvin drops 30 today. Definitely possible, Tommy. M. Davies, I got you, man. What about Hines and Taylor? I like Jonathan Taylor more than Nyheim Hines. Jonathan Taylor saw 22 carries in his last game out, and that gives him a much higher ceiling than Nyheim Hines. That's not a type of workload Nyheim Hines has in his range of outcomes. So I do like Jonathan Taylor more. Why is Mostert projected so low? Andrew, Mostert, let's see what he's projected for. Let's check too. Maybe I am higher on Raheem Mostert than Walter is. Yeah, Walter has Raheem Mostert projected for a conservative 11.7 PPR points. I think that he's going to get more than 11.7 PPR points, though. Raheem Mostert didn't do all that much in his first game back. If we look at his stats from last week, Raheem Mostert, he did play around 40% of the snaps, but he saw 16 carries. And that 16 carries is what leads me to believe that he's going to go over 11.7. And to me, his speed gives him a lot of upside as well. But that's probably has to do with his low projection, is that 40% snap share last week. Just subbed. Thanks, man. Is Kyler Murray still a must start against the Rams, battling a shoulder injury? He's not a must start if you have some other options. Like, I would be willing to play Kirk Cousins over him this week. Kirk Cousins is an amazing matchup against the Jaguars defense secondary that's been awful and is very injured. So Kirk Cousins is a guy I'd be willing to play over him. But yeah, you can start Kyler Murray still pretty confidently in a lot of different situations. Sam, help. Alexi, how's it going, man? Who do I pick in Survivor? You told me Miami, but I've already chosen them. Yeah, you're back. I wanted to let's run through some of the spreads. I think that a good option, if you haven't picked the Vikings yet, the Vikings there's no way they lose against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Another good option, I think, is the Green Bay Packers. I know you said you all had a lot of good teams left. The Chiefs are also a pretty good option if you still have them. Damian Harris or Gurley? I would lean towards Damian Harris. I want nothing to do with Todd Gurley against a historically good run defense. The Saints defense, run defense, guys, is going down as one of the best rushing defenses of all time if they continue this pace. Taysom Hill or Matt Ryan? Close one. I would probably go with Matt Ryan. I think that the Falcons defense could figure out Taysom Hill today. Bro, why is Snell projected so low? Yeah, I think the Benny Snell projection was updated this morning, so close your app and open it again to see if there's an updated Benny Snell projection. I think we have him projected around 10 points. How are we feeling about this Pats this week, Sammy? I'm nervous about the Pats this week against the Chargers. That we obviously have a far. Let's just go through each of the games. I'll give you some thoughts on each of the games. The Browns versus the Titans to me is very interesting. I think the Titans are going to take that one. The Colts versus the Texans, I think the Colts are going to win that one. I think Phillip Rivers is going to go over 20 fantasy points. Rams versus the Cardinals. It'll be interesting to see how Kyler Murray is going to continue to look with his shoulder injury. The Rams have been picking it up. This is a huge game for that division. The Giants and the Seahawks, to me, that game is going to be a complete blowout without Daniel Jones playing. Just subbed Gaskin or Miles Sanders. Definitely Sanders. I love Sanders this week. The Pats have a 47% win probability against the Chargers. I think that the Patriots are going to struggle to stop this Chargers offense. The question will be, can Cam Newton and the offense of the Patriots continue to put up some points? They're one of those top 3 run-heavy teams in the NFL, but the coaching advantage definitely goes to the Patriots there. I think the Packers are just going to annihilate the Eagles, but I still do really like Miles Sanders. Urgent deadline in 15 minutes, Ryan. Josh Allen, Ridley, James Conner, and Sterling Shepard for Herbert, Kupp, Mostert, and Amari Cooper. No, I wouldn't do that. You're giving away the better players in that trade. Cardinals is going to be a hell of a game, in my opinion. Yeah, Rams-Cardinals is always a very good game. I'm looking forward to watching that one for sure. There's a lot of good games. Hey, Walter, Hunter Gibson. My name's actually Sam. Classic mistake. I built an artificially intelligent algorithm, named him Walter, built an app after that algorithm. Classic mix-up, though, no worries. And I would probably be going Hunt. Cam Newton or Derek Carr? I would lean towards Cam. I got this one a lot. I got this one like 5 times before like 7 a.m. somehow this morning. People were texting me this one. Derek Carr or Cam Newton? I think that Cam Newton is safer. Derek Carr has more upside. And if you're going for upside, you got to go Derek Carr. If you're going for safety, I mean, Cam Newton's still leading the NFL in red zone carries per game. So I do still think that Cam Newton has a pretty safe floor. App just said Kupp and Lockett, but should I throw in Thielen for one of them? Yeah, I mean, Thielen's a great option too. I think I fully understand the question. Julio Jones or Lockett? I don't think you can be benching Julio Jones today, guys. Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, all of those guys are top 15 options at the wide receiver position this week. All of them need to be in your fantasy lineups. I'm playing Julio Jones over Lockett. What do you think about playing Devontae Parker with Tua playing? Yeah, Devontae Parker's better with Ryan Fitzpatrick than with Tua. So that is a downgrade for Devontae Parker, though he still is the clear number one passing option in the offense. So he still is a wide receiver 2 for me this week. Clyde, Gurley, or Hunt? Definitely Hunt. Fant or Rudolph? I would go Noah Fant. Coming up on only an hour left till football. I've been going since 8:45 a.m. I'm getting excited. I disagree with the app. All right, Bo. Rank Crowder, Agholor, and Snell. I probably disagree with the app on this one too. I would probably go Snell, then Crowder, then Agholor. Who's your rookie of the year, Sam? Ozzy. I love this question because I get a lot of start-sit questions, but I literally spent 400 hours building an app and 3+ years building an algorithm that can just go answer your start-sit questions in the WalterPicks app on the iOS App Store, completely free to you right now to download. Give everyone 25 free start-sit comparisons. So let me talk about offensive rookie of the year, then I'll get back to some of your start-sit questions in a moment. But for a while, it seemed like it was Justin Herbert or Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow goes down with injury. Everyone thinks, all right, definitely Justin Herbert now. But to me, there's another name that very much needs to be considered for offensive rookie of the year, and that is Justin Jefferson, who's having currently the most efficient rookie wide receiver season in the history of the NFL. He is leading the NFL in yards per route run and yards per target. No rookie has ever done that. If he can finish the season leading the NFL in that metric, which he leads by quite some margin, Justin Jefferson needs to be considered for the offensive rookie of the year. I hope he can get another 100-yard game in today, and then I think that will put him very much in the conversation in terms of the public. But it's very hard for anyone that's not a quarterback to win it. But two things could happen today that could lead to Justin Jefferson very much being in the conversation. If the Patriots can do well against Justin Herbert, Bill Belichick is historically pretty good against rookie quarterbacks, and Justin Jefferson can get another 100-yard game and come close to he would tie the second most 100-yard games by a Vikings rookie. They have some insane rookie receiving seasons, Randy Moss being one of them. This would be his 5th 100-yard game of the season. Justin Herbert's got to be in the offensive rookie of the year conversation. I 100% agree. Justin Jefferson is the best rookie. Yeah, he's been a beast, Cole. People, I ranked him in my top 10 wide receivers in the NFL. I got a lot of pushback for that, but I think he's already a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL. Perriman, Watkins, Agholor. I'd rank them in that order. Hey, Sam, Mostert or Zeke? App says Zeke. Or do I start Gaskin? Oh, man, those are really close ones, Amar. I think, honestly, I would lean Gaskin, then Zeke, then Mostert. James Robinson is a beast rookie. Yeah, James Robinson also having a historically good season. I don't think he can win it just because of how bad of a team he's on. I wish we could have saw him in a better team. But James Robinson's going to go down as the best undrafted rookie season of all time. If he continues his pace, he's going to shatter the record for the most all-purpose yards as an undrafted rookie. And it is even more impressive when we consider James Robinson in the context of 2020, where he didn't even have a training camp. Like, just making the team as an undrafted free agent this season is very impressive. They didn't even have a training camp to show themselves. You had to be extremely talented to make the team as an undrafted rookie, and that's exactly what James Robinson did. Well, a huge part of the pushback was leaving out DK. Yeah, Matt, I was fully expecting that. And honestly, I totally agree that DK Metcalf is in the conversation as a top 10 wide receiver, but partly, I wanted some comments, and partly, I think that DK Metcalf is definitely uplifted a little bit by Russell Wilson. But Matt, yeah, I was ready for that. DK Metcalf is definitely in the top 10 wide receiver conversation. I personally rank him at 12. Kamara, Montgomery, or Latavius. The ranking wide receivers, guys, is very difficult. There's so many good receivers. I would probably go Kamara out of those guys. Jonathan Taylor or T. Higgins? I'd go Jonathan Taylor. Tannehill or Herbert? I like Tannehill more this week. 1,700 subs. We're only 90 away from hitting our mark of 1,800 subs that I set for myself at 4:30 in the morning when I woke up this morning. I said, all right, what's the goal today, Sam? I said 1,800 YouTube subscribers. We're only 90 away. Very possible to hit that by 1 o'clock. It's going to be close, though. Hey, Sam, pick 2. Ayuk, Myers, Pittman, Zeke. I would probably go with Zeke and Pittman out of those guys. Tannehill or Herbert? I like Tannehill more. Kyler or Aaron Rodgers? I like Aaron Rodgers. Congrats on 1,700. Thanks, man. Can you help me? A-Rob or Jefferson? I'd like Allen Robinson and Justin Jefferson a lot this week. I would lean towards Jefferson, though. Can you give me an upset game to add to a parlay? Yeah, Zane, it's the Falcons versus the Saints. I think the Falcons can beat the Saints this week. They have a underrated defense. I think that the Falcons can very easily shut down that Saints offense this week. Thanks. I'll choose the Vikings. Still have the top 5 teams left in Survivor. Love what you do, Sam. Nice. I'll be rooting for the Vikings for you. I don't think there's any chance that the Vikings can lose this week. CEH or JT standard? I like JT more than CEH. JT had 22 carries in his last game out. Hey, Sam, Cam or Taysom Hill? Close one. I'd lean towards Cam. I'm kind of out on Taysom Hill this week. I'm nervous about Taysom Hill. I think that the Falcons defense is underrated. Let's go, Carlos. Almost there to 2,000. Yeah, we are. Very exciting. Under 3 weeks of having this YouTube channel. We're almost at 2,000 YouTube subscribers. Can you help me start 2 Chark, Perriman, Watkins, Aguilar? I like those first 2 guys the most, Chark and Perriman. What are good tight ends rest of the season? Well, I can name one, Travis Kelce. End of list. The tight end position is absolutely brutal this season. Darren Waller, to me, is probably top 3. And Kittle, by the way, could come back in week 15. For DFS, Kupp or Woods or both. Griffin, do a lineup with one of them and with both of them. I think both of them can do well. The concerning thing for Robert Woods is that Josh Reynolds has actually been increasingly involved. So I'd lean towards Cooper Kupp over Robert Woods, but I do think that Josh Reynolds is eating into Robert Woods' workload a little. Yarjma, Sam, I've never used DK. Do you put in money to be a part of them? Yeah, you got to put in some money, but you can play on DraftKings for as little as $1. So you can really keep it low stakes. Probably the best thing, my favorite part about DraftKings is that you get to decide kind of the stakes that you're playing at. So you can even play for less than $1. There's tournaments you can enter for 50 cents. Hey, Sam, Claypool or Pittman for PPR? I would lean towards Claypool over Pittman, but I like both of them a lot this week. I like Pittman. I think Pittman's going to do very well. Liked and subbed. Thanks, Nate. Aaron Jones, James Robinson, or Miles Sanders? Oh, I'd probably go with those last 2, but I think Aaron Jones has a lot of upside. I do really, really like Miles Sanders this week. I have him in a lot of my DFS lineups. I think he has top 5 upside. I think he's going to have his best game of the season. Gibson or Zeke? I'd go Zeke. I really don't trust Gibson against the Steelers. Who's your favorite? Who's favorite, Rams or Cardinals? Yeah, the Rams are slight favorites based on what I'm seeing. They have a 53% win probability, but it's pretty much a coin flip. How does DFS work, and does it cost money or have an age requirement? Both those things, Jordan. You have to be at least 18 to play, and how DFS works is everyone makes a lineup out of the same pool of players. Every player is given a salary, and you basically get to draft a new team every week, and if you draft well enough, you can win thousands, if not millions of dollars. That's how DraftKings and FanDuel works. Do you really trust Zeke this week against the Ravens? No, trust is not the word I would use, but I don't trust Gibson against the Steelers either. Zeke and Gibson, to me, are low-end running back 2/3s this week. Yo, Sam, am I going Kerryon Johnson with Swift out or Zeke this week? Ben. Oh, man. Ben, are you in playoff contention? I think that I would probably go with Zeke over Kerryon Johnson, but it's not going to feel good, Ben. It's definitely not going to feel good. Will Connor play? It's looking like James Conner has a chance to play, but it's looking like most likely not. I'd say like 65-70% no to James Conner playing this week. Yo, Sam, my guy, Herbert or Kyler? I'd probably lean towards Kyler, but it's very close. Parlay. All right, let's listen to Will's parlay here. Raiders over Jets. I think that one could go south. Miami over Bengals for sure. Packers, yeah, going to beat the Eagles. Chiefs for sure beating the Broncos. Steelers over Washington to me is also a little risky. I think you should take out the Raiders, take out the Steelers, and add in the Falcons. And I think that would probably be similar odds for you. Kamara or Gaskin? I like Gaskin a lot this week. I think I'm okay playing him over Kamara. Walter definitely disagrees with me. Walter has not wavered in his faith in Alvin Kamara. He still has Alvin Kamara ranked as a top 12 running back, though it doesn't fully understand the context of that Saints offense. I don't think he's going to be very involved in the passing game. So I'm okay going Gaskin over Kamara. But it's going to be brutal for everyone benching Alvin Kamara, watching him go off on your bench. Like, he was your first round pick, and you really do want to trust your studs in fantasy. Thoughts on Zeke and Amari? I'm nervous about both of them. Thoughts on Ayuk? Yeah, he's definitely a lot riskier now. He's more of a wide receiver 3/flex than wide receiver 2 with Deebo Samuel. I'm already locked in for playoffs in that league. That's good, Ben. I'm glad WalterPicks has helped you out in that league, Ben. Eckler, baby. Yeah, Austin Eckler, guys, top 5 upside every single week now. He had an insane 16 targets in his first game back. Sam, good morning. Good morning to you, man. Must-win week. Yeah, must-win week for a lot of people. Subbed last week. Appreciate you, man. Debo or Gallman at flex? I would definitely go Deebo Samuel over Gallman. Guys, I really like Deebo Samuel this week. He saw 13 targets last week. He is one of the best yards after the catch receivers in the NFL. I have him as a high-end wide receiver 2. He could be in the wide receiver 1 conversation moving forward. Hey, Sam, I got the WalterPicks app. Bilal, thanks, man. It works very well. Thanks for the help. Glad to hear that. Yeah, if you haven't checked out the WalterPicks app on the iOS App Store yet, you got to go check it out. For DFS, James Robinson or Aaron Jones? I think I would probably lean towards Aaron Jones, Griffin, over James Robinson. The reason is I think Aaron Jones is going to come in with a lower ownership percentage than he really should. And he still has, I would argue he has more upside than James Robinson. Been here since 30 subs. Carlos, you're the man. Font or Ferkser? I like Font more than Ferkser. Ferkser, both of them, though, you're hoping they fall into the end zone, but I like Font more. Mostert or Amari or Zeke. I would probably rank them in that order. Yo, Sam, Dobbins over Zeke? Oh, a lot of Zeke questions today. I think that the Baltimore Ravens defense is pretty concerning. I'm okay considering Dobbins over Zeke, but Zeke is probably going to touch the ball more than Dobbins does. So I would probably lean towards Zeke. Prop pick of the week. Yes, the free prop pick of the week, guys, is Nick Chubb over 10 receiving yards. Hear me out on this one. We are 10 out of 13 giving away free player prop picks this season. And Nick Chubb, guys, has been underratedly more involved in the passing game than Kareem Hunt. The average fan sees Nick Chubb as the runner, Kareem Hunt as the receiver. But if you dig deeper, Nick Chubb has actually ran more routes than Kareem Hunt in 4 out of the 6 games that he's played this season. Nick Chubb had 3+ catches in over half of his games last year, and he's just coming off a 3-catch game. He's very easily going to clear 10 receiving yards today, and that's the lock of the week, free prop pick of the week. I checked the app, and it told me to pick Parker over Pittman and Corey Davis. What are your thoughts? Sam, that's a close one, man. I think that I would probably go with Devontae Parker just because he's the very clear wide receiver 1, but he's ranked to me very closely to Corey Davis. I think Pittman's a little tier below both those guys. I think you really got to narrow it down, Sam, between Parker and Corey Davis. To me, Parker is safer. You know Devontae Parker is getting at least 7 targets. It's the very clear number 1 wide receiver in that offense, but Corey Davis to me has a little bit more upside. So do you want the upside? Do you want the safety? That's up to you. Hey, Sam, remember last week when I called Koo getting 20+? Jackson, I actually do remember that, man. Great call. Younghoe Koo is the GOAT. Yo, my man, Sam, I need that weather update. Maddie Drip. I love the people coming back for the weather. I auditioned as a weather reporter in week 10. If you were in this live stream in week 10, I was auditioning as a weather reporter. Still waiting for a call from any of those news stations. But yeah, the research that I've done, the only statistically significant impact on offenses in the NFL is when there's wind over 25 miles an hour. We have none of that today. So short weather report for you today, Maddie. There's a little bit of rain in the Titans-Browns game. The rain doesn't concern me. The cold doesn't concern me. And the snow does not concern me. The only thing that concerns me is the wind. And there's no wind over 25 miles an hour this week. So you are good to go without thinking about weather. And I actually think, guys, the edge in DFS has shrunk and shrunk and shrunk over the last 3 years as people are becoming more knowledgeable on daily fantasy sports. But one of the biggest edges to me, the sneaky big edges, is just ignoring weather unless there's winds over 25 miles an hour, because people are going to overreact to rain, to cold, and it gets like hyped up in the media, and it's honestly overrated on how much it impacts games. Herbert or Lamar? I go Lamar for sure. Lamar, guys, is top 5 quarterback option this week. I like Myles Gaskin over Raheem Mostert today. Herbert or Lamar? Yeah, I'd go Lamar. Is Hines a good start this week? I'm pretty concerned about Hines. He has a low floor and a high ceiling to me. Pittman or Tonian? Definitely Pittman. Terry McLaurin or Booker? Definitely Terry McLaurin, guys. Terry McLaurin is a must start every week. Top 10 wide receiver in the NFL, quarterback proof and matchup proof. Eckler or Aaron Jones? I'd go Eckler over Aaron Jones. How do you feel about Denzel Mims? Charles, I'm glad you asked this one because Denzel Mims is actually has a lot more upside than I think people are realizing. He's been top 10 in most air yards metrics in the NFL. Especially in December, people freak out about the snow when they shouldn't. Matt, exactly, man. It's all these. There's just so many publications in the NFL that are just so desperate for content that they'll just start spewing stuff about the weather. Don't listen to the weather reports unless there's over 25-mile-an-hour winds. Like the only example is the extreme weather, like that Vikings game that one year that had like negative 20 degrees. Like that's worth considering. But unless it's really, really extreme weather, you can't be overreacting unless it's wind over 25 miles an hour. Yeah, guys, Denzel Mims is a good flex start. He has upside. He's seeing consistent volume. He's playing consistently for the Jets. To me, he's my favorite highest upside Jets receiver. And that pains me to say because I love Jamison Lee Crowder, but he's seeing some consistent deep volume. Looked at the app, but they're so close. Glad you checked the app first. Matt Ryan or Taysom Hill? I'd go Matt Ryan this week. I have a feeling that the Falcons are going to beat the Saints, and part of the reason I think that is because the Falcons' defense is underrated in terms of public perception. They have actually really, really improved over their last 3 games, and now they're playing Taysom Hill for the second time in 3 weeks. I feel like they got to figure out the Taysom Hill playbook a little bit. I mean, it's pretty predictable from the Saints offense these days. So I'd like the Falcons to beat the Saints. I like Matt Ryan more than Taysom Hill. Hey, Sam, how's your day been going, man? Thanks for asking, Alex. It's been a great, fantastic day. I do really like Sundays, man. They're my favorite day of the week. I work around 90 hours a week these days, working basically 2 full-time jobs. And Sunday, this is my favorite time of the week when I get to talk to all of you about football. It is my second favorite time of the week is from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. My favorite time of the week, of course, is just watching football. And I'm seeing your boy too on TikTok. WalterPicks is saying Gibson projected 0.1 more than Montgomery. Do I start Gibson? I personally would start David Montgomery over Antonio Gibson, given their matchups. I think Antonio Gibson could struggle. Another rough one. Ben, oh God, man. Wayne Gallman or Kamara. In this league, I can't make playoffs, but might play Gallman to have some fun. Yeah, if you can't make the playoffs, personally, I'd still ride it out with your first round pick. You rode Kamara to non-playoff status, but I'm playing Kamara over Gallman. But if you're looking to have some fun and you're already eliminated, go for it, Ben. Hey, Sam, premium member since 50 subs. Ryan, you're the man. Goff or Matt Ryan, and then Kiki or Boyd. I'd probably lean towards Goff and Kiki. Ferkser or Goddard? I like Goddard more. Jackson, appreciate you, man. Jack Connolly, Trubisky, or I didn't see who Trubisky or Hill or Fitzmagic. Fitzmagic's not playing today, guys. You got to get Fitzmagic out of your lineups. DeAndre Swift, get him out of your lineups. Both them are not playing today. Chubb or Mostert? Guys, you got it. I should see 0 questions about Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb is locked into your starting lineup. He's been on an absolute tear. You cannot have Nick Chubb on your bench. And our free prop pick of the week is Nick Chubb over 10 receiving yards. He's low-key more involved in that passing game than people realize. He had 3 catches last week. He's run more routes than Kareem Hunt in 4 out of his 6 games this season, 3+ catches in over half his games last season. Nick Chubb is going to have a huge day. Crowder or Mims? Oh, this one pains me. This one is painful. There's literal pain as I answer this question. And because I'm playing Denzel Mims over Jameson, Elite Crowder. And it's sad that it's come to this, but the way that the Jets offense works, guys, they have 2 plays in their offensive playbook. Play number 1 is run up the middle with Frank Gore for 2 to 4 yards. Play number 2 is just bomb the ball deep to Denzel Mims or Brashad Perriman. That's literally their only 2 plays. Adam Gase is looking at a play sheet, and the play sheet literally says up the middle with Frank Gore or throw deep to Mims and Perriman. Like, that's the whole offense. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. But it gives Mims the most upside in the offense. And so I'm okay going with Mims over Crowder. Jake, prop of the week. Yes, the free prop pick of the week is Nick Chubb over 10 receiving yards. He's going to go over 10 receiving yards. I think he's getting another 3 catches today. He's probably going to clear 20 receiving yards. Lock it in, Jake. What's up, Sam? What's up, Rick? Deontay Johnson, A.J. Brown, or Jonathan Taylor in my flex PPR. All those are good options, but I'd go to A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown, Corey Davis, both good options. Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, both good options. Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, both good options. All 3 of those wide receiver duos, very much worth considering stacking in DFS. What do you think of Herbert or Murray? Yeah, Ryan, I've seen this one a bunch. It's very close for me. Personally, I'm leaning towards Kyler. MT or Kamara this week? I'd go MT over Kamara at this point. And guys, I built an app called the WalterPicks app. It's on the iOS App Store. I spent over 400 hours building this app. I've spent over 3 years building the projections that power the app, and it can answer all the start-sit questions that I'm not getting to right now. It gives you boom and bust probability based on 10,000 simulations of the week. It gives you machine learning, artificial intelligence projections that are very, very accurate. So use that app to help guide your start-sit decision-making. I didn't build the app to just spit out exactly who you should start, because the most fun part about fantasy football is that you decide. You decide who you're starting, and that's the best part of fantasy football. So at the end of the day, use that information to make your best possible decision. Hey, Sam, please help. Andrews is out. Yep. Good alternatives. Deep alternative who's available in almost every league is Anthony Ferkser, who's filling in for Jonnu Smith, who is injured. Ferkser has a pretty decent chance to fall into the end zone today. Hey, Sam, Hunt or Taylor, and also Ridley or Julio. I'd go Hunt. And Ridley versus Julio is a very tough one every week. Personally, I'd probably lean towards Ridley, but I like both of them a lot. I think both can do really well. I've been here since 10. Thanks, man. Ingram or Gesicki? I'd lean towards Ingram, even though Joe, without Daniel Jones, his floor is lowered, but he still does have a really high ceiling. Guys, we got 50 minutes till kickoff. Wow, this is flying by. I'm so excited to watch some football. I'm going to try to get to as many start-sit questions as I can, but again, you can answer your start-sit questions. You can get really all the info you need on your start-sit questions in the WalterPicks app on the iOS App Store, completely free. Gave everyone 25 free start-sit comparisons as well. Taysom or Carr? Nathaniel, I would lean Taysom as the safer option, and Derek Carr, to me, has more upside than him. Let's see if we can get to 150 likes on YouTube, guys. If you're watching live on YouTube, hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, you got to subscribe. We've gained 120 YouTube subscribers just this morning. We have gained over 1,700 YouTube subscribers in under 3 weeks. We had 0 YouTube subscribers 3 weeks ago. How are you, Sam? Doing pretty well, Alex. Thanks for asking. Was wondering your opinion on whether I should start Kirk Cousins or Kyler Murray. I'm honestly okay starting Kirk Cousins over Kyler Murray. I think Kirk Cousins is in an amazing spot. Wayne, we're at 1,720. That's amazing, man. I think Kirk Cousins is a top 12 quarterback option this week. He's up against a Jaguars secondary that was bottom 10 in the NFL and has almost every single person in that secondary is out injured. I mean, Justin Jefferson or Adam Thielen or both are going over 100 yards today. And if the Jaguars can keep that game close, I won't be surprised if Kirk Cousins wins someone's $1 million on DraftKings or FanDuel. The app is super close. Fant or Rudolph? Brady, thanks for using the app, man. I appreciate it. I would lean towards Fant. Is Lamar Jackson playing? Charles, yes, Lamar Jackson is playing, and he's a top 5 quarterback option this week. Lock him into your lineups. App is super helpful, man. Thanks. I'm glad it has been. Prop pick. Yep, we got people coming back for the prop picks because we're 10 out of 13 giving away free player prop picks this season. We use artificial intelligence to identify exploitable prop picks. We've had 68% accuracy on over 190 picks dating back to last season. And this prop pick today, I'm very confident in. And that is Nick Chubb over 10 receiving yards. Is Clyde playing? Yes, but I'm not very confident in him. Downloaded the app. Thanks, man. Thanks, Tyler. Pick one. Tonian, Graham, Ferkser, Burton. App says Burton. Yeah, I would probably lean Burton there as well. But Tyler, you're seriously basically just rolling a dice and hoping one of them falls into the end zone. Whichever one of those guys scores a touchdown, then is going to end up doing better. Happy Sunday, Gas. Best day of the week, man. I'm pumped for football. Corey Davis or Deebo Samuel. I like both of them a ton this week, but I like Deebo Samuel more. I really do like Deebo Samuel as a high-end wide receiver 2, low-end wide receiver 1. He saw 13 targets last week. He's one of the best yards after the catch receivers in the NFL. Is Michael Thomas a good start? Good. I'd say decent. I wouldn't know the guy to use the word good. I think Michael Thomas is a risky wide receiver 2. Hey, Sam, should I start Lamar or Taysom? I would start Lamar 100%. Pick 2, Ayuk, Pittman, Myers. I'd go Pittman and Myers. Can I trust Kamara? No. Trust is not the word I would use, but I still think you should have Alvin Kamara in your starting lineup in most situations because Alvin Kamara is still one of the most talented running backs in the NFL. I know it's crazy, but thinking I play Cooks over DeAndre Hopkins, Alex, I don't think it's that crazy. Cooks definitely has really high upside, but DeAndre Hopkins to me is a guy that you can't take out of your starting lineup. Myers or Thomas? I'd lean Michael Thomas over Myers. Ravens defense or Raiders defense? Raiders defense, man. 1 word, 2 words. Adam Gase. Raiders defense for sure. Aguilar or Bernard? I would lean towards Aguilar. I don't want anyone in that Bengals offense. Michael Thomas or Deebo? I'd go Deebo Samuel. Christian Kirk or Mims? Very close one for me. I would probably lean towards Denzel Mims over Christian Kirk. Guys, Denzel Mims has really high upside. I like him as a lot in tournaments on DraftKings and FanDuel because Denzel Mims is seeing a lot more air yards than people realize. Air yards, how far the ball travels in the air before it reaches the receiver. That is a good volume metric to track for productivity in the NFL. And Denzel Mims is actually top 10 in that metric. CH White or Cam Akers? App says CH. Yeah, I'd probably go James White over Clyde. Not over Akers though, but you could definitely make the argument for Clyde over White. It's close. Would you drop Mixon for Mims? Tristan, honestly, probably not. But are you really going to be able to trust Joe Mixon in that Bengals offense without Joe Burrow? Like Mims to me probably has more upside, but I would try to drop someone other than Mixon because he could come back, depending on the running backs you have, honestly. Jordan Reed or Kyle Rudolph? I like Jordan Reed. QQQT in DFS, yes, but he's probably going to be really popular. He's probably going to be in too many lineups for me to have him in enough of my tournaments. Like I think QQQT could do well, but I do think that he's going to be over-owned in DFS. And that is something you want to consider when making your lineups in DFS, because if you play the same person as everyone else, it lowers your upside. What's your favorite game you're looking forward to this week? I'm looking forward to a bunch of games this week. This is going to be a really exciting week 13. I'm very much looking forward to that Vikings game. I hope that Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson do very well. I'm also looking forward to the Falcons upsetting the Saints. I also am looking forward to this Browns versus Titans game. Two very similar teams. I think that can be a really exciting game. But the game I'm probably most excited for is the Rams versus the Arizona Cardinals. To me, that's probably the most exciting game of the week. Hey, Sam, I'm most likely starting Gaskin. Also have Dobbins, Debo available. Walter is telling me to start Debo all the way. Thanks for all you do. Doesn't go unnoticed. Thanks, Sharks. 151. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, I would probably start Gaskin. I like Debo Samuel a lot. I think Debo Samuel and Gaskin can be very confidently submitted into lineups today. Rank these: Gaskin, Kamara, MT, Deontay Johnson. I would probably rank them as Deontay Johnson number 1, Gaskin number 2, maybe MT number 2 or 3, and then Kamara's last. Go Browns. Good luck to the Browns, Ben. I made a bet at the beginning of the season. Again, if you know me from the beginning, I only bet on player prop picks because we've had 68% accuracy on player props using AI to identify exploitable player prop picks since the beginning of last season, 180 picks. So I've had a very positive ROI with those. So most of my money that I bet on sports goes towards those. But I always make a few future bets, and I made 2 future bets at the beginning of the season. One of them was a lock: Jets under 7 wins. I don't know who set that line, 7. I was literally saying this is going to be over under 2. So locked that one in. And then the other future bet that I made at the beginning of the season was the Cleveland Browns to win the Super Bowl, which is looking pretty unlikely, though they are looking like they're going to be in the playoffs. But the Cleveland Browns, my whole logic on this one, there was no math behind this one, Ben. The whole logic on this one is, would there be anything more 2020 if we were to end the year of 2020 saying we're about to watch the Cleveland Browns in the Super Bowl? Tell me that wouldn't be the most poetic ending to this horrific year of 2020. I do think that logic still could make the Browns head towards the Super Bowl. And if they do, I'm going to cash in. Hey, Sam, what do you think? Who do you like more, Montgomery or Mostert? I like Montgomery a little bit more than Mostert. He just sees more volume. Ridley good with Julio out. Is Julio Jones officially out? Is that true? Let's see. I thought Julio Jones was confirmed in. But I do like both Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley a lot. Yeah, Julio Jones officially active. Absolutely love it. Julio is playing. Yeah, Julio's playing. Calvin Ridley is still a top 12 wide receiver option in fantasy. Both of them need to be in starting lineups. I play David Johnson over T. Higgins. I don't trust anyone. In that Bengals offense. Should I start DeAndre Hopkins? Yes. Guys, DeAndre Hopkins is still a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL. You got to trust DeAndre Hopkins. Poetic justice indeed. Yeah, it would be. Let's go Browns. I got some Browns fans tuned in. Myles Gaskin or James White? Definitely Myles Gaskin. Hope you're well. Thanks, Nick. If I win this week, I'm in the playoffs. Let's go. I need a flex. Benny Snell, Deontay, or Perriman. I'd go Deontay Johnson. Mike Williams, Marvin Jones, or Landry. I like Mike Williams a lot this week. I think Keenan Allen could take a lot of attention away from him. Hey, Sam, Julio or Miles Sanders? Uncle Rico, I'm going Miles Sanders. And I'm telling people, you can't bench Julio Jones this week, but you also cannot bench Miles Sanders. And I know he's underperformed this season, but Miles Sanders has top 5 running back upside this week. He's seeing 65% plus of the snaps for the Eagles. He is still a top 10 talented running back in the league, one of the only rookies ever to have 500 plus receiving and rushing yards. And he's up against the Packers defense, allowing the 2nd most fantasy points per game to running backs. Miles Sanders is an auto lock for me. I have him in over 90% of my DFS lineups today. I really do like Miles Sanders. Wait, so should I do Robinson or Julio? I like Julio more than Robinson, but it's very, very close. And Julio definitely comes with more risk just because of the injury. Sam, premium sub here. Good to see you, Dr. Clownman. Here, Dobbins, Snell, Shepard. I would rank them probably in that order with Daniel Jones out. Terry, Devontae Booker, or Brandon Cooks. You can't bench Terry McLaren, guys. Mooney or Edmonds? I'd go Mooney. Pittman or Higgins? Pittman for sure. Gesicki or Henry? I'd go Henry. Montgomery over J.K. Dobbins. I say Ridley over Julio Jones, but that one can always go either way. Edmonds or Higgins or Kirk? Probably Kirk out of all those guys. And Ben, if you can try to handle some of the spamming in YouTube, that would be much appreciated. There's not too much of it going on right now. Hey, Sam, which should I start? Diggins, Julio, Calvin Ridley, D-Hop, or MT? You got to choose one of those guys. Oh God, I'd probably go. Honestly, I'd probably go Stephon Diggs. I think he's gonna have a huge bounce back week. Is CMC coming back this week? It's not confirmed, man. It is not confirmed. that CMC is coming back this week. There's possibility he doesn't. It would probably be smart of the Panthers organization to not bring him back, and they're out of playoff contention. Hey, Sam, I'm new to your app, but I have an idea that you can do. You could do it so we pick our whole team out of players. Yes, Bilal, we're definitely considering something just like that for next season. This was V1, Bilal. We're going to have a lot more versions coming out. What is the probability? Ooh, I like probability questions. That McLaren plays on Monday. He's playing. No, I think that's like 95% that he's playing. How did you name the app WalterPicks? Yeah, we get this question all the time. We named the algorithm Walter. We named the algorithm Walter early on, and the story is a long one. I'm probably going to have to make a video about why we named it Walter. But it stuck. What you need to know is the Walter name stuck, and we stayed with the name of Walter. It was just too long. Writing and saying the artificially intelligent machine learning algorithm was too long. We need to give it a name. So we named it Walter, and that's why the app is called the WalterPicks app, because the algorithm, his name is Walter. And Walter's been doing great this season, guys. He's second season in a row being more accurate than ESPN, Yahoo, PFF. He's had 68% accuracy on player prop picks this season. We've had several of our premium subscribers win over $200 on DFS using his DFS optimizer. Yo, Sam, do you think I should start Julio over Scary Terry since Terry's playing Steelers? No, actually the weakness of that Steelers defense is the secondary. But I think you could still play Julio Jones over Terry McLaurin, despite that. Julio Jones, to me, probably has more upside than Terry McLaurin, so I'm okay going with Julio. I don't think you want Julio Jones on your bench, guys. Julio or Eckler, very close one. I'd probably lean Austin Eckler. Which defense should I stack for playoffs? Falcons and Dolphins or Seahawks and Packers? I could hold two. I do think the Falcons defense and Dolphins defense are the better two defenses there, so I'd lean towards them. But the Seahawks are going to win some people their week 1 fantasy matchups in the playoffs because they're up against the Jets in week 14. That's going to be a Jamal Adams revenge game. I think Jamal Adams is going to score a touchdown in that game. Thanks to you, I went 12-0. Let's go, man. That's what I'm talking about. I need you. Who is the best 5,400 play under on DFS? Please respond. Yeah. It's Corey Davis, man. Lock in Corey Davis. I think he's 5,100 on DraftKings if that's the pricing you're talking about. I really do like Corey Davis. Using the lineup optimizer right now, it's giving me some lethal Kirk Cousins stacks. Matt, let's go, man. Good to hear. And if you ever have any feedback, Matt, about the DFS optimizer, I value your opinion for sure. Snell or Boyd? I would lean towards Snell. I don't trust anyone in the Bengals. Without Joe Burrow. It's hard to trust that offense. Guys, we got 40 minutes until football starts. We're getting close. I can feel the anxiety of these final start-sit decisions in the last week of the fantasy football regular season. Crowder or Boyd? Finally, Aiden, a question I can answer. Jameson, Elite, Crowder. I'm down on him overall. I think Denzel Mims has more upside than Crowder if Mims is available, but I'm not trusting Boyd. Is Damian Harris a good flex? Nikhil, I think he's an okay flex. Yo, what's up, Sam? What do you think I should do about Alvin Kamara? Bronson, you got to be pretty nervous about him, but I still think he should be in your starting lineups. His upside has significantly decreased without the passing volume. He's had -2 receiving yards over the last 2 weeks, by far his worst stretch in his career. And they do need to come up with a plan to get him more involved in the passing game. I think that Alvin Kamara, though, should still be in your starting lineup. Matt, it's been a lineup similar to the one I gave. Great minds think alike. That's good to see. Maybe I made that lineup with the optimizer myself. I need a win to make playoffs. I might actually be sick if I miss playoffs. Tristan, yeah, it's always a horrible feeling missing the fantasy playoffs. How do you account for injury being played through, such as Kyler, for your projections? Yeah, Will, that's some stuff that we have to adjust for manually. But the app does kind of take into consideration playing through injuries, especially with someone like Kyler, because the app weights the most recent games the most. What is most predictive of the next week is the previous couple of weeks. It's more predictive than the beginning of the season, for example. So it is looking at what Kyler Murray has done through his injuries so far. And so it does take it into account. It also takes into account the spread, the over-under, which both those things take into account that Kyler Murray is injured. So it takes into account a lot of different things. Hey, Sam, should I start Booker or Gaskin? I like Gaskin more than Booker this week. I like both of them a lot. I like Booker more than David Johnson for sure. Lazard or Booker? I like Booker more. Should I start Booker or Gaskin? Yeah, I like Gaskin more than Booker. How do you feel about Cooper? Cooper Kupp, I feel very good about. Amari Cooper, not so much. I think Amari Cooper's got a lot of risk, but he does still have some upside. He's still a very good wide receiver, and he's the clear number 1 receiver in the offense. Kirk Cousins or Tua? Arab, this one's easy, man. Definitely Kirk Cousins. For DFS, Brandon Cooks or Robert Woods? I think Brandon Cooks has more upside than Robert Woods. Should I start Booker over Gaskins in DFS? No, I think I like Gaskin more than Booker in DFS, but they're both going to be pretty popular options. I think that Gaskin's probably going to end up coming with a lower ownership percentage than Devontae Booker because of the injury fear that people have. People irrationally make decisions based off injuries in fantasy football. It's honestly one of the biggest edges in season-long leagues that you can get come draft time is the injury discounts and drafts. We saw it with Will Fuller, RIP, by the way, but Will Fuller had a huge injury discount this season, and he was on pace to be one of the best draft picks of the season before he got popped for steroids. Hey, Sam, can you pick three? Kamara, Mostert, Gaskin, Booker. I would lean towards Gaskin, Kamara, and Mostert out of those guys. Font over Ferkser. Guys, do not bench Lamar Jackson. Do not bench Lamar Jackson. He is a top 5 quarterback option this week. I think he's going to be a league winner down the stretch in the fantasy playoffs. If you made it this far with Lamar, that's a very good sign for your other draft picks because he really has underperformed where you would have had to draft him in fantasy drafts. But Lamar Jackson still has that same upside that you drafted him for. And for that reason, you got to keep him in your lineups. He's going to have a 40-point game left in him this season. Damian Harris or Jonathan Taylor? I like Jonathan Taylor more. I think my voice is starting to go, but my energy is not. We are getting closer to 1 o'clock, 35 minutes till football. I am pumped. Yeah, Grayson, what's your question, man? Hopkins, Johnson, Sanders. I'm not benching Miles Sanders, guys. I am not benching Miles Sanders in almost all situations. Miles Sanders, to me, is a must start this week against the Packers. Do you think I should go with Kamara or Aaron Jones in my flex? Andrew, I like Aaron Jones more. And guys, if you're watching live on YouTube, hit that like button. We're trying to get to 150 likes by the end of the stream. We got 35 minutes to do it. If you're watching live on TikTok, you got to come join us on YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube. We got 1,700 YouTube subscribers in under 3 weeks. And the YouTube chat is a little less spammy. We're only 20 likes away from 150 likes on YouTube. So you could help us get over that mark. Really would appreciate that. Honest question, Kamara or Murray? Yeah, Nick, this is a question a lot of people are facing. And personally, I would be playing Kamara over Latavius Murray. I understand the logic behind starting Latavius Murray, who's seen more rushing volume than Kamara over the last couple of weeks. But to me, Kamara is still the better player. I'm still starting Kamara. JT or Pittman? I like Jonathan Taylor more than Pittman. Devontae Booker or Gibson? I like Devontae Booker more than Gibson just because of the Gibson matchup against the Steelers. It's something I'm concerned about. Guys, we're 15 likes away from 150 likes on YouTube. We got a couple hundred people tuned into this live stream right now. Appreciate every single one of you listening right now. Seriously, this is a blast for me. I love talking football. Hey, Sam, I came from TikTok. I'm wondering if I should start Diggs or Eckler. I would prefer Eckler, but Diggs is a really good option too. A-Rob or Kupp? I like Allen Robinson just a little bit more than Cooper Kupp, but I think Cooper Kupp's probably the safer option. Absolutely love your stuff. Gio, thanks, man. Pittman, Bernard, or Pittman at flex? Pittman or Pittman? No, that's a lot of P's. I like Pittman over Bernard for sure. Need to pick between Schultz and Rudolph. Yeah, guys, the tight end decisions are just so brutal every single week. Guys, we're only 10 likes away from 150 likes on YouTube. You can help us hit that 150 mark. Really do appreciate that. I really do think that you can't trust the Bengals offense at all. And Pittman is going to do, I think he's going to have a good day. I think he's a pretty good sleeper option. Need to go study for finals. Love to hear that, man. Yeah, I remember those days, Fahad. Judy or Crowder? I would probably go Judy over Crowder. And it's sad. It's sad for me to rank Jameson Lee Crowder so low. Jericho, how many coffees today? This is number 4 today. I'm definitely going to have to take I think I'm going to have to go cold turkey on the coffee after the football season just to get like my mind right and not rely on it so much. But yeah, I'm going to keep cranking the coffee till the NFL season ends. For DFS, Cooks or Woods at wide receiver? I like Cooks more than Woods, Griffin. I think Cooks has more upside. We're at 149. Who's going to be the 150th like on YouTube? We just got 20 very fast. Appreciate everyone that's watching live. 152. Let's go. Thanks everyone who just did that. Johnny, thoughts on Sanders rest of season? I think Sanders has league winning upside still, and I think he has week winning upside this week against a Packers defense that's allowed the second most fantasy points per game to the running back position. Wow, we're at 161 likes. Thank you all so much for hitting that like button. Really appreciate it. I'm going to try to get to as many questions as I possibly can, but if I don't get to your questions, you got to go get your start sit advice from the WalterPicks app in the iOS App Store. I spent 400 hours building the app and can give you all the info you need. Yeah, free player prop pick of the week is Nick Chubb over 10 receiving yards. Lock that one in. Nick Chubb has run more routes than Kareem Hunt in 4 out of his 6 games this season. He had 3 catches last week, over 3 catches in over 50% of his games last season. Nick Chubb, guys, is more involved in that passing attack than you realize. He's going over 10 receiving yards. They set this line way too low. It should be probably closer to 16, 17 yards. Nick Chubb is going to go for another 3 catches today, and he's going to pass that 10-yard mark. Amari Cooper or Boyd? I like Amari Cooper more than Boyd. Hey, Sam, I need to win for playoffs. Yeah, this is a big week. Taysom Hill or Watson? I'd probably go Deshaun Watson. It's close, though. Amari Cooper or Boyd? Again, I think I'd go Amari Cooper. No need to spam the chat, by the way, on YouTube. I'm doing my best to get to your questions. Hunt or Mostert? I'd go Hunt. Miles Sanders or Devontae Booker? I'd go Sanders for sure, guys. Miles Sanders has top 5 upside at the running back position this week against a Packers defense allowing the 2nd most fantasy points per game. I don't have any other player in my lineups more this week than Miles Sanders on DraftKings. Miles Sanders is a lock for me. I think he's going to have his best game of the season. Font or Ferkser? I like Font a lot. Who do I start? Flex, David Johnson or James White? Probably David Johnson, but it's close. Zeke or Gaskin? I'm going Gaskin over Zeke. I traded Hopkins for A-Rob. Did I win? No, I don't think you won that trade. DeAndre Hopkins, to me, in the fantasy playoffs, he's going to go off. Today, I still think he can do well. I'm confused on how the app works. Like, how do you know which person to start? Grayson, the app gives you the information you need to make your own start-sit decision. So you got to decide how you're going to use this information. This is how I use the information. In the WalterPicks app, you based on 10,000 simulations of the week, you get boom and bust probability, and you also get projected points based on machine learning, artificially intelligent algorithm, and matchup rating. This is how I use that information. I look at projected points. That's the most accurate indicator, and that is the best thing to decide between. But if it's close, I then look at boom probability because I am someone who likes to take risks in life. I look at the upside when I'm making start-sit decisions. That's what boom probability tells you, the upside. But some of you might want to focus on the floors of players, and that's what you look at for the bust rate. If you're looking to lock in guys over 10 points, the bust probability gives you the probability that player is going to score less than 10. Then as a final tiebreaker, if that's all still close, then you go with the matchup rating. But all 3 of those other metrics include the matchup rating in them, right? Boom and bust and our projections all know who they're playing against. So that is how I would use that information. I hope that helps answer your question on how to use that information. Myles Gaskin or David Montgomery? I lean towards Gaskin over Montgomery. It's very close, though. Both of them are really good options this week. Both of them could see 20 touches in this week. Guys, we're almost at 175 likes on YouTube. Hit that like button if you haven't hit it yet. There's a chance we can hit 200 likes by 1 o'clock. That would be super exciting. Herbert or Kyler Murray? I'm going Kyler over Herbert this week. Please, Sam, are the Bears a good defense this week? Yeah, they're for sure a good defense against the Lions. That helped. Glad that helped, Grayson. Big Ben or Cam Newton? I would lean towards Big Ben over Cam Newton. Gaskin or Dobbins? I like Gaskin a lot. Higgins, Henry, Beasley at flex. I'd probably go with Henry. A-Rob or Thielen this week? I do really like Adam Thielen. Guys, I think you have to be starting. Here's some players you have to be starting. Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson. You have to be starting A.J. Brown. I'd argue you have to be starting Corey Davis as well. All of these guys to me are must starts. I really like all those guys. You got to be starting Miles Sanders as well. I think he's an auto lock into your lineups this week. Gaskin to me is a mid-tier running back too. Guys, the only other running back for the Dolphins this week against a bad Bengals defense is Patrick Laird, who's more of a special teams player. I think that Myles Gaskin is going to see 20-plus touches today, and that makes him a solid running back too with running back 1 upside. Kiki or Judy? I would lean towards Judy over Kiki QT. I'm very interested to see what his target share looks like in his first game. Thoughts on Deebo Samuel? Yes, guys, Deebo Samuel's another guy I think needs to be locked into your starting lineups. He saw 13 targets last week. Deebo Samuel is one of the best yards after the catch receivers in the NFL. He is a wide receiver 2 with wide receiver 1 upside. I really do like Deebo Samuel. Lock him in. I'm playing Gaskin over guys like Antonio Gibson, who has a very tough schedule. I'm okay starting Devontae Booker over Antonio Gibson as well. J.K. Dobbins is also a pretty good start. I think I'd probably play Dobbins over Devontae Booker, but it's close. Bears, Raiders, or Seahawks defense? I do really like the Seahawks defense against the Giants today without Daniel Jones. Guys, that Giants offense was kind of in shambles with Daniel Jones. It's going to be even worse without him. What do you think about James White, Harris, Myers, or Bernard? I would probably go with Jacoby Myers or James White. Pick 2, Jarvis, Amari, or Taylor. I'd probably go with Amari and Taylor there. I don't think Jarvis Landry is going to keep up what we saw with him from last week. And guys, if you're watching live on YouTube right now, I appreciate you guys a ton. Hit that like button. Let's see if we can get to 200 likes. Hit that subscribe button. If you're not subscribed yet, we're going to be posting a lot of content on YouTube, especially in the off season. And we are live on YouTube every time we're live on TikTok as well. So definitely hit that like button. And guys, if you haven't checked out the WalterPicks app yet on the iOS App Store, you got to check it out. It gives you all the information you need for your start-sit decisions. It helps you with DFS with our linear programming DFS lineup optimizer. We also give away exploitable player prop picks every week. We've had 68% accuracy on over 190 player prop picks dating back to last season. The free player prop pick of the week today is Nick Chubb over 10 receiving yards, guys. Nick Chubb is going over 10 receiving yards today. If you look closely into the numbers, Nick Chubb has actually ran more routes than Kareem Hunt in four of his last 6 games. And Nick Chubb had 3+ catches in over 50% of his games last season. And he had 3 catches in this previous week, guys. Nick Chubb is going to go over 10 receiving yards. Sam, I'm not familiar with YouTube. What do you want us to like? Just this live stream. Will Sully, good to see you, man. Yeah, you just like the stream. See, we got 168 likes right now. We're trying to get to 200 by 1 o'clock. That would be fantastic. And if you're watching live on TikTok, guys, and you haven't subscribed to YouTube yet, you got to go subscribe to our YouTube. We passed 1,700 YouTube subscribers in under 3 weeks. Definitely appreciate the support on there. Appreciate everyone's support, really, that's tuned in right now. Really does not go unnoticed from any of you. Chubb's over-under is only 7.5. Yeah, Jake, I'm conservative with 10. Take the 7.5. Some books have it at 10, so I like to play it safe. But yeah, I mean, Nick Chubb's going over 7.5 receiving yards. He's going to have at least 1 catch, and he's probably going to have at least 2. So I really do. I'm confident in that Nick Chubb over 7.5 one. JT or Gaskin? I like Gaskin a little bit more than JT. Do I start Chubb or Tannehill at my MVP spot in flex? I like Chubb. I think a little bit more than Tannehill, though Chubb could be probably a little less popular than Tannehill. So, yeah, I would go Chubb. Mims or Judy? I would go Mims. Philip Lindsay or James Elite White? I would go James Elite White. Love it. Chubb or Julio in the flex? You got to start, Dylan. You got to get both those guys in your lineups. Wayne Gallman or Myles Gaskin? Definitely Gaskin over Gallman. Guys, Gallman scored. He has scored 5 touchdowns in his last 4 games. I don't think that's going to continue. I think that whole offense is going to struggle today. I'm out on Wayne Gallman. Hey, man, who would you start, Tua or Derek Carr? Personally, I'd be starting Derek Carr over Tua. Do you ever stay on live a little after 1? No, but I am actually on live. So I will end the TikTok live stream at around 12:55, and then I'll spend the next 5 minutes answering as fast as I can all the YouTube comments that are happening on the live stream. So the live stream on YouTube lasts like 5 minutes longer. Corey Davis or Brandon Cooks? I'd be leaning towards Brandon Cooks, but I really like both of them this week. Who do I start at QB? Taysom Hill or Derek Carr? I like Derek Carr a little bit more. I think Taysom Hill's safer, though. Again, I like to take risks in life, so take that with a grain of salt. All my advice, I am someone who takes risks for upside, and to me, that's what you're getting with Derek Carr. I don't know how to like it. I'm trying to help you get to 200. Yeah, Will Sully, there should be just a like button somewhere on your screen. I think you have to be signed into your YouTube account to do it. Kyler Murray or Aaron Jones or Aaron Rodgers? I would like Aaron Rodgers more than Kyler Murray this week. I traded Julio and Mark Andrews for James Robinson. Yeah, that's a fair trade. I need to rank these. D-Hop, A.J. Brown, Justin Jefferson, Stephon Diggs, DK. Oh, those are tough rankings right there. I would probably be trading some of those guys if you have all of them. Please, J.K. or Drake? I would lean towards Kenyon Drake, who's been more involved in the passing game each consecutive week for the past couple of weeks. Very encouraging sign for Kenyon Drake's upside. I do like J.K. Dobbins as well, but I would probably lean towards Kenyon Drake. And will Lamar play? Yes. Guys, Lamar Jackson is playing. He's locked in as a top 5 quarterback option this week. He is going to play, and I think he's going to be a league winner in fantasy football. I really think it's going to happen. If you made it to the playoffs with drafting him so early, good job. You must have drafted a good rest of your team, and I think it's going to pay off in the playoffs. Should I start Keenan, Julio, or Hopkins at flex? I think I would start Julio, then Keenan, then Hopkins. Hey, Sam, who should I drop? Ertz for Rudolph? I have Andrews. Should I drop Ertz for Rudolph? No, I don't think I would do that. Appreciate that, Casey. Calvin Ridley or Antonio Gibson? Calvin Ridley or Antonio Gibson? I definitely go Calvin Ridley. It's not even close. Again, I'm going to rapid fire some guys that you absolutely need to find a spot for in your starting lineup. Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen. I think you need to be starting A.J. Brown, Corey Davis. All of these guys need to be locked into your lineups. Miles Sanders, get him in over Chris Carson. Yes. Deebo Samuel, lock him in over Alvin Kamara and over Corey Davis. Ben, Deebo Samuel had 13 targets last week, one of the best yards after the catch receivers in the NFL. And if you're just joining on YouTube, guys, hit that like button. We're seeing if we can get to 200 likes before 1 o'clock. You can help us do it. If you're watching live on TikTok and you haven't subscribed on YouTube yet, you got to go do that. We're posting some fantastic content on YouTube. We are live on YouTube right now as well. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Tonyan or Evan Ingram? I'd lean towards Evan Ingram, even though Daniel Jones. Weather update. Yeah, Andrew, I auditioned as a weather reporter back in week 10 when there was some horrible weather. Still, no news sites or news stations have contacted me, which is a little surprising. I thought I auditioned pretty well. But no, there's no weather to be concerned about this week. There's no wind over 25 miles an hour. That's what has the biggest impact on offenses in the NFL. Brandon Cooks, Tyler Lockett, or Deebo. I would rank those guys as Brandon Cooks, then Deebo, then Lockett, but Lockett has the highest ceiling. I'd probably lock in Brandon Cooks though. Thanks for all the help, bro. About to get a dub this week. Let's go, Ben. Hey, Sam, did I miss the player prop pick this week? Spencer, free player prop pick of the week is Nick Chubb, over 10 receiving yards. Lock it in. In 4 of his last 6 games, he's ran more routes than Kareem Hunt. He had 3 catches last week. Over 50% of his games last season, he had 3+ catches. They want to get Nick Chubb more involved in the passing game, as they should. And I think he's easily going to clear 10 receiving yards today. Kupp, Gaskin, or Gallman. I would rank those guys in that order. Kupp, then Gaskin, then Gallman. Mostert or Booker. Also, keep up the good work, bro. Thanks, Aiden. I appreciate it. I would probably go with Mostert there. A. Robert Diggs. I really do think Diggs is going to bounce back. Cole Baker, thanks for being a premium subscriber since day one, man. Pick 3, Ridley, Julio, Mike Thomas, Claypool, PPR. I'd probably go with those first 3 guys. I think you got to play your studs. Guys, my overarching advice in fantasy is trust your studs. You drafted them high for a reason. They have upside. You got to trust your studs there. Start 2 in full PPR. Lockett, Thielen, MT. I'd probably go with those first 2. Hey, Sam, who am I starting? Pittman or Agholor? I would go with Pittman. Thank you. I got you, Cole. Need to win this week. Cam Newton. Yeah, guys, we got to get these wins this week. Last week of the fantasy football regular season. I'd go Matt Ryan over Cam Newton, but it's very close. Derrick Henry and Keenan Allen for Aaron Jones and Devontae Adams. No, guys, Derrick Henry, King Henry is going to win so many fantasy leagues this season. This is Derrick Henry's time of year. If you didn't trade for him, you made a mistake. If you have him, great work. You got to keep him. You're going to ride him to a fantasy championship. Going to get that dub this week. Yeah, guys, get those dubs this week. We got 18 minutes until football. If you haven't noticed, I'm starting to get more and more excited. And as promised, those people that tuned in with me, I've been going since 8:45 this morning. They kind of wake up with me on this live stream. I definitely am a little bit more excited than I was at 8:45 in the morning. And again, guys, you can answer all your start-sit questions in the WalterPicks app in the iOS App Store. It gives you boom and bust probability based on 10,000 simulations of the week. It gives you accurate projections based on machine learning and artificial intelligence. That app is free, and you can compare 25 players, start-sit comparisons for free. It'll take you 3 minutes to get to that start-sit screen. You got plenty of time to go get the information you need if I don't get to your start-sit question now. Really appreciate everyone trying out the app as well. And again, if you're watching live on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Helps us out a ton. Deontay Johnson or James White? I like Deontay Johnson, man. Hey, Sam, I urgently need this win. Who do I play in flex? Judy, Shepard, Slayton, Tonyan. Yuck, man. I'd probably rank those guys in that order. I'd probably start Judy there. McLaren or Lockett? I think Lockett has more upside, but I like McLaren's floor more. I've been here since 10. Carson or Sanders? Anai, thanks for sticking around, man. I definitely would be going with Miles Sanders over Chris Carson. Miles Sanders to me is top 5 upside this week. I think he's going to have the best week of his season. I have him in over 90% of my DraftKings lineups today. I really am all in on Miles Sanders. Who wins? Russ and Stephon Diggs for Eckler and Watson. Probably the Eckler side. Aaron Jones versus Eckler. I would go Eckler over Aaron Jones. Anai, no problem, man. I got you. Corey Davis over DeAndre Hopkins? No. Risky, but I don't like D-Hop versus Ramsey. Yeah, if you're that nervous about Ramsey, yes, I'm okay. I do still think Corey Davis is going to have a very, very good week. But to me, I refuse to bench DeAndre Hopkins. You drafted him in the first 2 rounds. You can't just get scared when he goes up against a good corner. DeAndre Hopkins is good enough to dominate good cornerbacks. I think DeAndre Hopkins is still a guy you got to trust in your start. Gio or Corey Davis? Definitely Corey Davis, Nader. Julio or A-Rob? I'd go Julio, but A-Rob is definitely safer. I don't want to overreact about Kyler, but should I consider Taysom Hill? It's a must-win week. JB, I'd go Kyler over Taysom Hill. Do I start someone besides Russell Wilson? Nope. You shouldn't. Hollywood, Sanders, or Cooks this week? Andrew, I would go Sanders, man. Miles Sanders is a great option in fantasy. Does it scare you about Chubb, how Mike Vrabel said they're going to make Baker throw the ball? Yeah, they should make Baker throw the ball, but that's what every team has tried to do. The Cleveland Browns are running into a stacked box more than any team in the NFL, yet they're averaging more yards per carry than any team in the NFL. The teams they're going up against know they're going to run, and it does not matter. That's how good Nick Chubb is. That's how good that offensive line is. So easier said than done from Mike Vrabel. I'll be very interested watching that game very closely. Judy or Slayton? I'd go Judy. Booker or Gallman? Definitely Booker. Juju or David Johnson? I'd go Juju. Gesicki over Rudolph, but I don't think over Ingram. I like Ingram the most. Yeah, the free player prop pick of the week, guys. It's Nick Chubb over 10 receiving yards. Lock that one in. And if you want access to the other player prop picks that Walter's artificial intelligent algorithm has identified, go to the WalterPicks app, start your 3-day free trial, see if you like the premium features, and you will get access to all 8 of the exploitable prop picks that Walter has identified this week. In the iOS App Store, download free, start the 3-day free trial right now. A.O. Cole, Drake, Harris, or Moss for Jefferson and Gaskin. I like the Jefferson side of that for sure. Hey, Sam, Wayne Gallman or DJ Chark at flex? I'd go DJ Chark. Snell, Crowder, or Corey Davis? Charlie, it's Corey Davis this week, guys. Let me rapid fire again. These are the guys I think you got to be starting. A.J. Brown, Corey Davis, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, Miles Sanders. You got to start all those guys. Mostert, Gibson, Davis, Cup, PPR. I'd probably sit Gibson there just given his matchup against a good Steelers run defense. I think the Seahawks defense is better than the Steelers defense in fantasy this week. Lamar or Kirk? Lamar. You can't be benching Lamar Jackson, guys. Lamar Jackson is a top 5 fantasy football quarterback this week. And if you haven't subscribed on YouTube yet, guys, you got to hit that subscribe button. We're going to pass, I think we passed 1,700 YouTube subscribers today. We hit that mark in under 3 weeks. You're missing out if you're not subscribed to our YouTube content. Trade Crowder for Jonnu. I have Kelsey already. No. Jordan, if you have Kelsey already, you do not need another tight end wasting a spot on your bench. Gaskin or Montgomery? I'd lean towards Gaskin today. It's very close. They're very similar options. I think they're both going to play over 90% of the snaps for their teams. You can't say that about many running backs. So I like both of them, but I would lean towards Gaskin. Should I drop Ayuk, Higgins, or AB to pick up Kiki, or just stay with those guys? I would drop Higgins for Kiki QT. I think that Higgins is just not a guy you're ever going to be able to trust, and maybe QT grows into a big role. I need your help, Sam. Frank Gore, David Johnson, Duke Johnson. Need one of them. Please answer. I've been trying this for a while. Michael, I got you, man. I would probably be going with David Johnson out of all 3 of those guys. To me, he easily is the best option. Kenyon Drake or Chris Carson? I'd lean towards Chris Carson, but it's a little risky because Chris Carson only played 40% of the snaps for the Seahawks last time out. But I think that's going to be seen uptick to around 50, 60%. Thanks, Sam. The energy level has definitely rise from 9 o'clock. LOL. Yeah, Jordan, as promised, man, I told you, I gain energy as we come closer and closer to 1 o'clock. I'm very excited to watch football. My second favorite time of the week is these 4 hours on this live stream talking to all of you. My favorite time of the week is sitting back. The 5 hours of the week that I do not work is watching football on Sundays. It is fantastic time. Thoughts on Joe Mixon, rest of season in standard league? I don't like him at all. I don't like anyone in the Bengals offense without Joe Burrow. Miles Sanders or Myles Gaskin? Hayes, I'm all in on the 2 Miles today, but I like Miles Sanders more than Myles Gaskin. I think you can't go wrong with Miles Sanders today. I think Miles Sanders is going to have his best game of the season. Latavius Murray or Corey Davis? I like Corey Davis. I'm going Kareem Hunt over Devontae Booker. I'd go Mike Williams over Marquise Brown as well. Mr. Curve, I'm done. Mr. Curve. Zeke or Chark? I would lean towards Chark. White, Kiki, or Gabriel Davis in the flex. Fox, that's a deep league. I like the deep league questions. I would probably lean towards James White. I'd probably honestly rank them in the order that you listed them. Kareem Hunt or Nyheim Hines, I'd go Kareem Hunt. Devontae Booker, worth it over Zeke? I think he probably is. Against the Jets. I know the Jets actually have an underrated run defense. Personally, I actually had to make this decision in one league, and I'm stubborn with the guys that are my studs. So I'm starting Zeke over Devontae Booker, but there's a very real argument to start Devontae Booker over Zeke. And we do not need to spam the chat. I know it's getting close to 1 o'clock. I'm going to get to as many questions as I can. If I don't get to your questions, the WalterPicks app in the iOS App Store can answer your question for you. Thomas or Gaskin? I would probably go Gaskin. MT or Terry? I'd go Terry McLaurin over Michael Thomas. It is very close, though. Booker or Dobbins? I would lean towards Booker over Dobbins. Julio or MT? I'd go Julio Jones. Again, guys that I'm definitely starting. Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson, A.J. Brown, Corey Davis. Appreciate you, Sam. Have a great Sunday. Yeah, have a great Sunday to you all as well. Guys, we got 10 minutes till kickoff. I can feel the anxiety of these final start-sit decisions in the final week of the regular season in the fantasy football leagues. Appreciate it. I'll see how he does. All right, good luck, Will. Taylor or Gallman? I'd lean Taylor. Bernard or Pittman? I'd lean Pittman. Mooney or Dobbins? I would lean J.K. Dobbins. Justin, Julio, Lockett, or Terry? Please help. Love the content, man. Thanks, RG Falcons. I would probably go with those first. I would probably rank them in the order that you listed them. That's the order I would go with. Gaskin or Gallman? I like Gaskin over Gallman. Montgomery or Mostert? I like Montgomery a little bit more than Mostert. Mostert only played 40% of the snaps. He still saw 16 carries. So he's still seeing volume. But to me, Montgomery, he's going to play 90% plus of the snaps. He has more receiving work that you can project him for. So I do like Montgomery a little bit more than Mostert. Seed, happy Sunday, man. Great to see you again. Sam, why did you name the app WalterPicks? It's because the artificial intelligence algorithm that powers the app, his name is Walter. And that's why it's named WalterPicks, because his projections power all of the projections in the app. Hunt or Snell? I'd go Hunt. Will McLaren play? Yes, it's looking like McLaren's going to play. MT or Deontay Johnson? I would lean towards Deontay Johnson, but it's very close. And again, guys, one of my bold predictions of the week is that the Falcons take down the Saints. I think that the Falcons' defense is very underrated, and we're going to see that in action today. Julio or Lockett? I would lean towards Julio. Aaron Jones or Nick Chubb? I'd go Nick Chubb. Premium user, Parker or Debo? I would go Debo Samuel. Again, Debo Samuel saw 13 targets last week. 13 targets last week. He's one of the best yards after the catch receivers in the league. He's on the wide receiver 1 conversation. Start Lamar or Kirk? I would be starting Lamar Jackson, guys. I refuse to be benching Lamar Jackson this week. Devontae or Mike Williams? I like Mike Williams a lot, but I think I'd still go Devontae Parker. Shepard or Ayuk? I would lean towards Shepard over Ayuk. MT, yeah. I see slow mode is on. Who are you starting, Sam? David Johnson or James White? I'd start David Johnson over James White. Debo or Hopkins? Oh, God. I would probably still play Hopkins, but you could definitely make the argument for Debo Samuel. Kareem Hunt, Montgomery, or Gaskin? Pick 2. I would go Montgomery. I'd probably go Montgomery and Hunt. But Montgomery and Gaskin are going to see the ball more than Kareem Hunt. So honestly, maybe Montgomery and Gaskin. Thanks for the help. No problem, JJ. Sam, I know you told me Sanders over Gaskin, but do you not think the Eagles will be behind the whole time and won't run? Even if that happens, Hayes, Miles Sanders is a very capable receiver. So I'm okay with Miles Sanders. Justin, Julio, Lockett, or Terry? RG Falcone, I'd rank them in that order. Hunt or Corey Davis? I would go Corey Davis over Hunt. My friend put $100 on Chubb over receiving this week. Can't wait for the free money. Aaron, Chubb over 10 yards, man. Lock that in. Free player prop pick of the week. Let's see if we can get to 180 likes on YouTube. If you haven't liked yet, hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed to YouTube yet, guys, you got to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Over 1,700 YouTube subscribers in under 3 weeks. I'm going MT and Sanders over Pittman for sure. App says Hines, but would you start Hines or David Johnson? Oh, it's close, Kevo. It's close. I would probably start David Johnson over Hines. Debo or Kupp? I like Debo Samuel just a little bit more. What do you want for Christmas? What I want for Christmas is for all of you to subscribe to the WalterPicks app. That's what I want. McLaren or Sanders? You can't bench Miles Sanders, guys. Miles Sanders, to me, is top 5 upside. App says Hines, but would you start Hines over David Johnson? Yeah, I'd probably go with David Johnson. Dobbins or Pittman? I like Pittman a lot this week. Dobbins is safer to me. Pittman has more upside. Herbert or Watson? I like Watson a little bit more. The New England Patriots are historically good against rookie. Bill Belichick is historically good against rookie quarterbacks. This Miles Sanders take is showing your risky side, Sam. Yeah, Matt, you know I'm someone who takes risks. I think it's a very bold take and could age poorly. You're definitely right, Matt. It definitely could age poorly, but I'm all in on Miles Sanders. And you'll see, Matt, I think you've probably noticed, I go all in on like 1 or 2 players each week. That's the risk taker in me. Again, I'm a risk taker. I've risked every dollar I had in my bank account to start a business. That has gone pretty well so far. I'm all in on Miles Sanders this week. It could definitely backfire. Absolutely, Matt. A.J. Brown, Jefferson, and Julio. I would go with A.J. Brown and Julio Jones. And it's tough for me to bench Justin Jefferson, but those 2 guys can do it. Hey, Sam, start Juju, Debo, or Shepard. I would go Debo Samuel. Marvin Jones or Hollywood Brown. I'd probably lean towards Marvin Jones, but I won't be surprised if Hollywood Brown starts to pick it up. I'm not starting Miles Sanders over Nick Chubb. That's one of the few ones where I'll bench Miles Sanders for Nick Chubb for sure. Is Gallman over Gaskin smart? Nope. Jaden, that's not smart. That's a non-smart thing to do. Kyle Rudolph or Noah Fant? I would go Noah Fant over Kyle Rudolph. And guys, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, you got to go do that. We're 20 likes away from 200 likes. We got 5 minutes to do it. Let's go, Chubb. Eric Factor. Let's go, Chubb. Oh my God, the picture on that Eric Factor is hilarious. I remember that video very well. Is that Dan? Who has that Eric Factor account? Lazard, Aguilar, or QT? I would go with QT over those guys. And on TikTok, guys, that's my time. I appreciate the support. Definitely go subscribe on YouTube if you haven't subbed yet. Have a fantastic Sunday, and I'm rooting for you all to make the playoffs. And we will be back live tomorrow night leading up to the Monday Night Football game. Hour and a half leading up to Monday Night Football. Definitely don't miss it. All right, guys, I'm only live on YouTube right now, trying to get to all the YouTube questions in the next few minutes before football starts. Jefferson greater than Julio, right? I can only start one. To me, I think you can start Jefferson over Julio. Personally, I think Julio probably has more upside than Jefferson. There's very few players that have more upside than Jefferson, but Julio's probably one of them. Jefferson's probably safer, though, against a horrible Jaguar secondary. I'd go Pittman over Boyd. Kamara scored 15 points. Martin, probably not, but I think he's due for a bounce-back week. It won't surprise me at all if he does. Boyd or Pittman? Yeah, Pittman. Tannehill. Thoughts on Aaron Jones and Diggs? I like both of them. Hines or Ayuk, must win. Oh, I don't like either of them that much. I'd probably go Ayuk. Enjoyed the whole 4-hour stream, Sam. Wow, Dorico, thanks, man. I appreciate that. We almost hit 200 likes. We probably would have if I didn't have that audio mix up like 45 minutes in, but that's all right. Things happen. I'm my own audio and TV crew here. Hey, Sam, Cooper Claypool or Corey Davis? I'd probably go Corey Davis. Allen Robinson, good this week? Yeah, he's good every week. Tonian or Thomas? I'd go Tonian. Hey, Sam, you said Watson over Herbert. Don't you think that Watson will struggle without Fuller? Yes, I do think Watson will be worse without Will Fuller, but I also think Justin Herbert could struggle against the Pats. Appreciate you, Sam. Have a great Sunday. You too as well. Pittman or Miles Sanders? Dean, definitely Miles Sanders. QT or Pittman? I would go Pittman. Kiki or Amari? I'd probably go Amari. Taysom or Kyler? I'm leaning towards Kyler. Sanders plays top New Orleans D next week. Yeah, he's going to have to be benched. Definitely if he has a bad game against the Packers, he's heading straight to the bench. Kiki or Pittman? I would go Pittman. Gallman or Dobbins for flex? I had to come back and ask for another. Brendan, I would probably go Dobbins. Taysom Hill or Matt Ryan? I like Matt Ryan a little bit more than Taysom Hill. Enjoy your Sunday. Thanks, guys. Ayuk or Pittman? I would probably lean Pittman. Julio or Cup? App says Cup, but I'm not sure. Yeah, Nick, I think I would probably go Julio over Cup. It's really close. I think Julio Jones has more upside. And again, you know me, I like to take risks. So that's why I'd probably go Julio. But Cooper Cup has much safer floor. Lockett or Julio? I'd probably go with Julio. Mostert or Gibson? I like Mostert a little bit more than Gibson this week. Gibson's got a tough matchup. Have a great Sunday to you as well, Omar. Tonian or Ingram? I like Ingram a little bit more. Drop Boyd for Crowder? Yeah, Owen, probably. But both those guys are in similar situations and bad offenses. They're not great options. We'll get you to 200 next time. Yeah, for sure, Omar. We'll continue to improve. Have a good Sunday. Thanks for the help. Yeah, glad I could help, guys. Jamal Charles or Eli Manning? Dean, definitely Jamal. Come on. Debo or Lockett? I would go Lockett over Debo. And that's the risk taker in me saying that, because Debo Samuel's absolutely safer than Tyler Lockett. Good luck today, boys. Yeah, good luck, guys. Go Miles Sanders, Matt. We'll see if that one backfires or not. I appreciate everyone tuning in. Have a great Sunday, guys. I look forward to talking to you tomorrow night leading up to the Monday Night Football game.